Because when the ball is in a guy's hands that's going to be one of the top picks for the draft, and then you surround him with enough ability, great ability, unlimited, right? Can they rebound with some of these crazy physical teams? You've already played Houston. So there's nobody now, because of Cal, the way he's scheduled, when you play the Michigan States and Houstons and Dukes, that no one's going to surprise you on how they play. They're not going to be caught off guard that we don't understand physicality. But that's because of scheduling. There's some teams that don't schedule, and they get in that tournament, and all of a sudden they run against a Houston or somebody and go, oh, wow.
Hey, it's Bo. Thanks for tuning in. Hang out with Chuck and I every weekday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. live on YouTube or Twitter, or catch up with the podcast version of the show available on Spotify and Apple.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Think about this, Chuck. Think about, this show's free. You don't have to subscribe to it. But imagine if this was the Chuck and Bo show. If you were listening to the show and you wanted to cancel it. You're done listening to us.
I hate that.
But there's no way to ever turn your radio off or get it off the Chuck and Bo show. How maddening would that be that every time you get in your car, you can't adjust the volume and you can't change the show?
Well, you'd start
you
walking.
Can't turn it off.
we would be a healthier society.
Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
We've got so much fertile ground today. I don't know where to begin. We've got a huge basketball game coming up on Saturday night. I watched John Calipari on ESPN last night, halftime of one of those games, talking about Arkansas and Kentucky. We got the Board of Trustees talking about how many millions of dollars have got to be spent on football for Arkansas to be good. And there's just a lot going on out there right now in the backdrop of this big game that's coming up on Saturday night.
Well, listen, if we've got the board meeting on how much money we need for football and they're having the discussion of another $15 million into the athletic department and Hunter having to come up with $5 million of it just for football, the conversation is happening in the board meeting.
It's big money.
In the big room.
It really is.
And people are tired of being bad at football. And
that's the conclusion.
That it's reached a public discussion in a Board of Trustees meeting that was written about in the paper today.
Extensively.
Thoroughly. In the paper that comes on your iPad now.
That's right.
For those of you that would rather hold it in your hands, you know what I'm talking about.
The paper.
But the paper, as we've called it for our entire life.
Absolutely.
Chuck and I both grew up reading the paper.
That's right.
And, boy, that's a good cup of coffee this morning.
I wish I could have experienced
while you're
that.
reading the paper. Well, you got a little
physical
newsprint
on
your
fingers. You got to be careful with, if you get ready for work and you got khaki pants on, you got to be careful.
Or a white shirt.
Yeah. You don't want to be, reading the paper. But I miss that. I miss those days.
I miss it, and I long for a time I
It's
never
one of
experienced.
those things that, I don't know if it'll ever circle back around like a lot of things have or do.
It should.
But I don't know, man. It's one thing I kind of miss.
There was something about getting up in the morning, grabbing a cup of coffee, opening the front door, because you tipped the paper carrier. He put it right there at your front door, and you just bent down, got the newspaper, sat down, opened it up. The place was quiet. Man, those were the days.
I'm a little bit younger than you.
I know.
By the time it got to me, it was a little further out in the driveway.
I understand.
Sometimes in the street, and sometimes, in the wrong
take
yard.
care of your paper carrier, and he or she will take care of you.
Yeah.
But, of course, that's a lost art now.
Right? There were Christmas cards and all that.
I think you can still get a Sunday paper delivered, if I'm not mistaken.
And they still have it at the convenience
stores.
stores.
Yes.
But be that as it may.
Yes.
You can get a Sunday paper delivered? I'm looking into that
Sunday
right
only.
Yeah.
They'll
That's
deliver
fine.
it to your home.
Well,
I'm not home in the morning.
I understand.
To get the paper.
That'd be something for you to do, Edward.
I'm going to get that
It would. Matt Jones wrote an article about it, and it happened, late in the afternoon yesterday, and the article didn't come out online till last night, and then you'll read it if you have one of those actual things this morning. But we're going to get into it, I'm sure. It was interesting. There's so many interesting things about it. But like the bottom line is they realize they need more money to compete in football. And I think they also realize that it can't come just from asking people for money. And so they're considering charging the campus, the University of Arkansas, which is, obviously the athletic department is a part of, but they have their own budget. So they're asking the university and the athletic department to work together to figure out how to infuse $15 million into the athletic department. And they also indicated that while interviewing coaches in this meeting, it was brought up that coaches like Silverfield and others who were interviewed mentioned a number around $25 million into your football roster to be able to really compete
annually
at a championship level.
Right.
Yes.
Annually.
Every year.
Yes. Every 12 months.
All year, every year.
$20 million roughly in revenue share and $5 million beyond that, which is what they focused on a good bit yesterday.
The revenue share part of this, though, is only $20 million for the whole athletic department.
Right.
So you need $25 million, which is $5 million more than the cap just for your football program.
Right.
And we talked extensively yesterday about the budgets and how much the other teams are spending within the athletic department that are losing money. And so it's just a surplus, for football in this case, because they've got to fund all these other programs. And now the question becomes, who's going to take the hit within the university system on the money? Are students going to be paying for it? That looks like probably where we're headed. We've seen fees on tickets from other schools, like called a talent fee at Tennessee. But there's so many places we can go here. Where I'm kind of interested in to start is you realize there's a problem. And so you're meeting about this as a board. But one thing that will continue to come up is once you get the money, does that really solve the problem? You got a problem without it. But there are businesses all over this country. 90% of small businesses that start fail. And there are businesses all over this country that we see go bankrupt that had plenty of money. So how do you manage the money? And when you're talking about sports, we see it every day in professional sports, right? The NFL, how many coaches have been fired already in the NFL this time around? Was it 4 or 5? You've got people with enough money. The Cowboys would be an example. Enough money, but they're still not winning. Why is that?
Yeah.
So money's but for now, money is part of a big part of keeping Arkansas from getting some of the most talented players on the field that you see Ohio State, for example, retain every year. You saw Miami's roster this year with a huge NIL, and they just stole Duke's quarterback.
Well, first off, I think the $25 million figure is accurate. I don't think there's a lot of dispute in that. And I can remember when all this NIL stuff first started, I'll always remember Ryan Day saying it's going to take $13 million a year to field a nationally competitive roster, and everybody just went through the roof. Well, here we are a couple of years later, 3 years later, and it's already doubled. I think that's an accurate figure, and obviously the question is, where does the money come from? They do discuss, and lots of places, lots of campuses have discussed, and some have implemented student athletic fees. Others have raised tuition with the extra revenue earmarked toward athletics. There are places that have done this, and if they've not done it, they're considering doing it. A lot of people find that distasteful. Every facet of the University of Arkansas, it seems anyway, is looking for new revenue. You've got a lot of competing interests on that campus. There are a lot of different operations that are trying to raise money right now. And the thing that I've said before, and I'll reiterate again, I think fans are tapped out. And I don't think that if you are going to find a way to come up with $25 million per year to commit to football, I think the average fans, I think you've bled that turnip. And so I don't know exactly what the answer is. It does seem as though some sort of student fee, tuition hike, it does seem as though that might be out there. I wouldn't want to be the one to be blamed for that. And so I think that's probably at work here too. You've got, and all you've got to do, and we'll talk to Matt later, but all you've got to do is read the account from the board meeting yesterday. There's, and I don't mean this critically, a lot of big ego in that room. There are a lot of people with things to say and strong opinions, and all of them have an agenda. And I'm not saying it's the wrong agenda, but I'm saying everybody comes at everything from a certain angle. I just hope as the dust settles that there's the recognition that the average fan's tapped out. And it's not a question of not wanting to win. It's just a question of I don't have the money to do it. If you do, I'd love for you to. But I've given all I can give.
They got so much to get into.
Oh, I know.
We haven't even scratched the surface. But they did pass this resolution. What does that mean? That they passed
I'm not entirely sure.
The Arkansas Board of Trustees passes resolution providing additional $15 million to athletics annually. But now they've got to figure out how to do it. Here's the good news. Apparently, they're going to do it in a way that doesn't require you driving into work today to pay for it. That's a twist.
Well, so far.
That's a twist.
So far.
Well, that's where we are today.
Yeah. Now, if you're paying for your kid to go to college, that's a different deal.
Yes. That's just like raising ticket prices.
Yes.
It's raising tuition
That's
or
right.
it's raising the student fee.
That's right.
But at least it's not just, hey, Chuck, can I have Fred, can I have some money?
Right.
You're not passing the plate here at church. Okay, we got to hit a break. You never know what's going to happen on the first hour of the Chuck and Bo show. And this could go anywhere.
This is a really interesting story, and it's going to be this goes to the heart of a lot of the things that we've talked about from the moment we came on the air with this show. Why aren't we better in football? If they can do it, why can't we? If they can hire this coach, why can't we? How can they ask us to give money when we're not any good? How many times have we heard these things from the moment we went on the air? This goes to the heart of that. And that's why this is going to be fascinating to watch, because there are big personalities at work here, and that always makes for an interesting story.
It's the Chuck and Bo Show. We're just kind of wading through it, figuring it out with you this morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville, inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Oaklawn is here for when you want the ultimate escape, all in one place. Check into the luxury hotel. Escape to Astral Spa, the only Forbes 4-star rated spa in Arkansas. Indulge at award-winning restaurants like the Bugler or the Oak Room and Bar, all before having the time of your life at the 24/7 smoke-free casino, where the energy goes all night. Here, excitement and luxury meet under one roof. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home. Kids, there's never a good deal good enough with a bad person. Still a bad deal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show on Demand is proudly driven by the Fayetteville Auto Park. We've been talking about them for a number of years. The truth is, they've been Northwest Arkansas's premier vehicle dealership for really as long as I can remember. There are lots of reasons for that. Starts with great brands: Honda, Acura, Chevy, Toyota. And then they've got the largest pre-owned selection that you're going to find anywhere. Trusted names. And they're all right here at the Fayetteville Auto Park. But what really separates them is what happens after the sale. You want to know your vehicle can be serviced by people you trust, right where you bought it. And that's exactly what you get at Fayetteville Auto Park. An award-winning service department and an award-winning collision center, all under one roof. It really is your one-stop automobile headquarters. They've been in business for 25 years. That's a long time. Built on trust, relationships, top-tier service. That's how you stay around as long as they have. The Fayetteville Auto Park. Drive with confidence.
Looking for the perfect light beer to kick off the new year? Flight by Yingling raises the bar for light beers. With just 95 calories, you can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of a Yingling, but it's a light beer. Grab a Flight at your favorite store or ask your bartender and take your beer game to new heights. It's perfect for the holidays or watching a game. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in this morning. Hang out with Bo and me every weekday morning from 6 to 9 live on YouTube or Twitter, or catch up with the podcast version of the show available on Spotify and Apple.
If you enjoy fake AI-generated stories
I do.
And getting scammed on the internet, Facebook is for you.
That's what I like. That's what I want.
Yeah.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A distinction that can be made here as we're just sort of peeling the onion on Arkansas's Board of Trustees passing a resolution that will provide an additional $15 million to athletics annually, 5 of which has to go towards football. But the discussion really is all about improving Arkansas football and finding money to do it. A distinction to be made is the university athletic department is one of 20 self-sustaining athletic departments in the country. Most athletic departments get some money from campus. This is the other way around here. The athletic department gives campus money. They've paused that over the next 2 years. So that's where some of this money will come from, of the $15 million. Then the resolution requires campus to find another $6 million to give the athletic department. And apparently, Hunter Yurachek has the charge of finding another $5 million to give the football program of this $15 million that goes back into the athletic department. One of the things is the way the NCAA, and I don't even know how to say this with a straight face, rules are, we have a cap on what you can, as an athletic department, pay athletes. And that total is $20.5 million. So anything that's like a pay stub that comes from the University of Arkansas and goes to an athlete, that total for the year cannot go above $20.5 million. Other schools, all schools, are working around this by finding a way to have money that's earmarked towards NIL that helps exceed the cap. But the way that it's done is the university can't pay it directly. So, Bart's business, he's wearing a Blakeman's hat today. His business, Bart and Blakeman's, they would say, hey, can you give us, $700,000 for this player? And he's going to, smile with a new chain on from Blakeman's, or a really nice timepiece would be more their style. And
$700,000 worth of posing.
Yeah. So that's how.
It's a lot of posing.
That's how that works. But that's a little in the weeds. But here's the point. The big point is that for the first time, I believe this would be the first time in history, if not certainly in modern history, correct me if I'm wrong, that the university campus would be giving money to the athletic department.
Yes.
That's never happened before. So right now we have a resolution from the Board of Trustees that's basically telling campus they got to pitch in $6 million, to which Chancellor Robinson said, I don't know where I'm going to get that. I'll have to figure it out. We think the prevailing thought is it's going to come from tuition hikes or
it's got to come from somewhere
that haven't existed.
It's got to come
prior.
from somewhere. That would be, on the surface, and very much on the surface. I won't pretend that I'm any other place right now. But on the surface, it certainly seems like that would be the most logical way to go about doing it. Now, you're going to have to, as the chancellor said, you can't the university can't take money and give it to NIL. It's got to go to the revenue share, and somehow the revenue share's got to turn into NIL, and I don't know how all that works. I know that this is not as simple as Bart owns the business, Bo owns a business, I own a business. Well, we can do whatever we want. We can change hands. We can put money in this account. We can do whatever we want as long as everybody's good with it.
It's IRS approved.
And the IRS is okay with it. But from a University of Arkansas standpoint, there are a lot of I's that have to be dotted and T's that have to be crossed. And it's not as simple as it would be if it just two or three guys getting together.
This is a conversation that might be better had over lunch.
Yeah, really. Or
It's
or at
great.
the very least breakfast.
Yeah, well, we read about it in the morning paper. We talk about it here over our morning coffee, and then you listening today can go talk about it with your buddies at lunch.
Maybe by tomorrow we'll all decide what we think.
Yeah. Bart,
what are your thoughts?
This cries out for the Chevy of Fayetteville
really does.
Situation Room. Let's get Bart what kind of hat do you have? A Blakeman's hat on, but what kind of hat do you want to wear here? Do you want to be a reporter? Do you want to be a journalist? Do you want to be a columnist? Do you want to be
what about
a concerned citizen?
An
do you
alum?
want to be a Razorback fan?
Yeah, an alum.
You want to just be an alum?
A columnist and an alum, maybe.
Alum.
So you want to be quoted by a journalist as an alum, like everybody.
We're going to have Matt Jones on.
By the way,
maybe he'll quote you.
There's a quote from everybody on the board in this story. Everybody's got something to say.
So I have two main questions about this, guys.
All right.
The first is, how does this $15 million actually help NIL? Because that's where Arkansas is lacking now, right? That's the conversation we've been having, is that Arkansas's NIL situation for football is not good enough.
That's true. I don't mean to interrupt, but I do want to interject. That Hunter, however many million he raised in the hiring of Silverfield, made the point that they're behind in overall budget for football in terms of being in the middle of the conference. They need to be at least in the middle of the conference.
Right.
Okay, so that's
I understand
that's
that.
one caveat.
I understand that. But if we're talking about the $25 million,
if we're talking about the roster.
Yeah, and that's what we should be talking about. That's what we should be talking about, because they have not had good enough talent on the football field the past several years. They just haven't had good enough players. So unless this helps with that, directly helps with that, then I don't really know what's happening here. I don't really understand the point of this. The second thing I'll say, and perhaps the most important thing from just a people of the state of Arkansas situation, is that no student should go into any sort of debt in any part due to intercollegiate athletics.
I mean, are you saying that they're not going into debt already?
No, I'm saying that like a lot of people have student loans, right?
Yeah.
Not a single portion of that, what they're having to pay debt on, should be going to intercollegiate athletics. Not a single cent.
So you're saying you can't raise, like in your opinion, you can't raise tuition?
You cannot specifically charge an athletics fee, in my mind. Now, so like obviously
a lot of schools do.
Yeah, but a lot don't. A lot don't, especially in the SEC and in the Big Ten. Ohio State does not. Penn State does not. Michigan does not. Georgia does not. LSU does not. Texas, Oklahoma do not. Nobody should go into any sort of, no student or student loans should be in any part tied to a fee devoted to intercollegiate athletics.
Well, there are a lot of people that agree with that.
That is
people who
reprehensible.
I agree with that.
That is absolutely reprehensible.
Well, I mean, really?
Yes. Yes.
Reprehensible?
Yes.
Okay.
Why should any kid who's just trying to get an education from a university, but can't afford to go to college, has to take on student loans, why should any of that be tied to intercollegiate athletics?
Well, it's part of the experience that you choose in college. You can go to a college that doesn't have athletics, or they don't have a great athletic program.
Yeah.
You're already paying for things as a student, I would think, that you don't benefit from.
I understand that. But like that I think that just crosses a line for me.
Well, guys,
no, I know a lot of people do feel that way.
I'm not.
I don't think this is a slam dunk with the public the way some might. I don't.
Well,
I think there are lots of people that agree with that.
If you want to find the money, find the money.
Well, but here's the thing, Bart. Here's the thing. I don't fundamentally disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But show me another way.
Right.
Show me another way. Look, it's we are at the point. We are at the point right now where we either do something.
Yeah.
We either do something. I don't know if this is right. But we either do something or we are hopelessly left behind. I mean, like forever.
Right. And I don't disagree with that at all, Chuck. But I want to go back to my first question. How does this money make the roster better?
Well, I don't know the answer to that one.
And until I know the answer to that.
But I don't know that you ever will. You'll never know the answer before the fact.
They brought it up in the meeting yesterday. Charles Robinson, Chancellor, brought up we can't just give this money to players. You're on the cap, so we need to. There are ways to do it, but that's not in this proposal. So apparently, that's one of the things they got to figure out between now and March 1st. All right, we'll get back. Good points, good questions. That was Bart, the alumni hat wearer.
This is one of those issues. Honestly, you could almost make either argument. I mean, there's good arguments to be made on both sides of the aisle.
There are, but to me, it always comes down to what is the point? Like, what is the overall point? Like, what are we starting with? And we're starting with, it appears that we're starting with, there's a mandate to be better at football. And that came from, I don't think just somebody waking up and saying it one day. It came from people talking about it every day all over our state. Everybody associated, not everybody, but most people associated with the University of Arkansas, they're talking about how we can be better at football. So what are the consequences to being better? What are the consequences to being better at football? What are the consequences to not delivering on Valentine's Day? So everybody's got to figure that out. And if I were you, I'd just go to Blakeman's and say, hey, I don't want to face the consequences. Actually, I want to do something great. I want to have a story to tell with whatever I'm doing here. What am I doing here? Go see Ben Blakeman, the crew there. Let me help you out. They're all about helping people out. They'll figure something out for you. They'll work with whatever you have to work with. You'll be glad you went in there. You'll have a great experience while you're there, and then you'll have something to enjoy for many, many days, years, hopefully years to come. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's about your story. 631. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Woo! We got some stuff today. Are we a bunch of idiots or what?
Yes, we are. Yes. Yes, we are. Yes.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
If you're having issues with your gutters or drainage around the house, you need to call Hog Trough Gutters. They're locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drains. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, and every job comes with a 20-year guarantee. Hog Trough Gutters services all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Log on to their website, hoggutters.com, to find out more. That's hog, Gutters.com.
Chuck has thoughts. I want to have some coffee and let you guys roll for a while. This is going to be good.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Every day I wake up despising Georgia basketball more and more.
That's a lot of despising, Brent, every day. Every day to despise something. That adds up.
I mean, Mike White's had more good jobs than the law should allow and had never won anything.
Well, he's winning right now.
Well, Bo, it's January, Bo.
I'm just.
What's he done?
Well, I mean, what did Mike White do to you? What's wrong with Mike White?
What did he do to me? His whole family's got a silver slipper on their foot. Brother, athletic director at Florida International.
Born on third base. There we go.
Hey, that guy was here. The one that's the FIU AD. He worked in our marketing department years ago.
And he tried to sell advertising, and I don't know how good he was.
Brent's got a long memory. FIU, I think.
Well, no, it's FAU.
Brian White's the AD at FAU.
FAU, okay.
Danny is the AD at Tennessee.
Okay.
Brett can tell you. He knows where all these guys are.
And his dad was the AD at Tulane. What have they ever done?
Who?
And his dad was the AD at Duke. Danny White. I believe his name is. Well, I don't know what his name is.
What are those Whites ever done?
Danny's his brother. He's the AD at Tennessee.
Oh, man. According to...
Oh, God. That just makes me ill. Mike White can't afford enough hair gel to get his hair standing up. He just put that little piece in the front.
I've never heard people get on Mike White before. He's a nice guy.
This is unbelievable. Like, where does this come from?
His teams don't win championships, so everyone likes him.
The whole family.
He's a polite guy, and you're just trashing him.
He's the whole family. It's the whole family, Chuck. Not just Mike White. He didn't like the
Silver
Whites.
Spooners.
Yeah.
They've never had to work for anything in their life in athletics.
At First Security Bank, banking isn't one size fits all. It's personal because everyone's financial journey looks a little different. From managing day-to-day spending, to running a small business, to helping your kids learn more smart money habits, or taking that big step toward buying a home. At First Security, you get the services you expect, the technology you need, and the real support of local people who live here, know the community, and take the time to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Life moves fast, and having a bank that moves with you makes makes a difference. Whether you prefer stopping by a branch, banking on the app, or picking up the phone to talk with someone who actually knows your name, First Security is there. They offer smart tools like mobile banking, bill pay, and mobile check deposit, along with thoughtful solutions like flex banking for kids, checking built for small businesses, and local mortgage lenders who guide you through the home buying process. Choose the power of personal. Bank better at First Security. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Oaklawn in Hot Springs is where excitement, luxury, and nonstop action come together, all in one unforgettable destination. The Oaklawn Casino Resort features a 24/7 smoke-free casino with more than 1,500 slot machines, plus blackjack, craps, roulette, along with great dining, live entertainment, and energy that goes all night. When it comes time to relax, check into the luxury hotel, enjoy award-winning restaurants like the Bugler, and unwind at the Astral Spa, Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa. And it's the perfect escape with Hot Springs National Park and beautiful scenic lakes just minutes away. And for sports fans, Oaklawn Sportsbook keeps the action going year-round. Bet on football, basketball, baseball, golf, and more. Even international sports with easy deposits and withdrawals all through America's best sports betting app. Oaklawn is your Hot Springs escape. Plan your visit today at Oaklawn.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show on demand is driven by the Fayetteville Auto Park. Catch up on all 3 hours with the podcast version on Spotify and Apple. Just search for The Chuck and Bo Show. Are you owning the day? Like, if you're not, at that point, it's still early enough to get your butt in gear, right?
Can I point something out here? It's okay to drag in the morning. It's okay. I mean,
You're not helping this.
I don't care. We're not a self-help show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's 6:36. JR's in Shady Grove on this morning of a Thursday. Today's Thursday, all day.
Yes.
Hey, JR, good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Man, we're
doing okay.
Good deal. I've listened to you the last couple of days, and I'm just trying to take all this in, and I'm just having a hard time understanding the hesitancy of running this like a business. And the reason I'm saying that is this right here. If you go ahead and take the step to run this as a business, then that means that you go back and evaluate every position in your athletic department, and then you start evaluating whether or not you need to keep that or not. I run a small business myself, and the fact that you can't keep operating because your budget doesn't allow you, just like you were talking about yesterday with, I forget the numbers you spoke about, but it doesn't make any sense to have that dead weight on you. It's kind of like the U.S. Post Office. I mean, how many millions of dollars do they lose every year, but yet we still keep funding it through tax dollars, and it's the same idea behind, trying to classify this as a business. Obviously, by not classifying it as a business, there's a lot of money at stake here, probably on both sides that we don't know about. But I just don't understand why. It's kind of like this deal right here. If you reshuffle and rebuild it, and you start winning, then the money starts coming in. I mean but there just seems to be no first step taking in doing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the problem I see, JR, is how we started and where we are. So we started with the college experience, right? Go to college. We're going to have these sports teams. It's going to be amateur athletics. It's not going to be a business. And then it started making money in football and maybe a little bit in basketball, but particularly football. And we had TV rights, and now we've got millions and millions of dollars. The first $1 million coach was around 2000, and it was Tommy Tuberville. $1 million coach. First $1 million coach, okay? A guy that went to 3 SEC championship games. Not to go to 3 SEC championship games or 2? 3?
Oh, 2.
2. Tied for the West 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, went to 2 SEC championship games. When he was hired, he wasn't making $1 million to be the head coach. And so big money started coming in, and then coaches started making millions of dollars. And then athletic directors started making millions of dollars. And we still have this other model where we're still having the college experience, and we have all these non-revenue producing sports. Well, now it's turning into professional. Now it's turning into big business. So We're still operating. College athletics is still largely operating in an amateurism model while trying to run a business and turn into professional, running professional athletes.
But you can't do that. I mean, that's not.
That's the problem.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Why not go ahead and take the first step and just make it a business? I don't understand.
Cut the track program. I mean,
if you made it a business, the only sports you'd play would be men's basketball and football.
Well, I mean, but once the money starts rolling back in, then you can start adding stuff. Once you reshuffle, it's no different than companies filing bankruptcy and restructuring their company, for a fancy word of saying it.
So here's the other thing though, JR. Like, I run a small business, you run a small business. I mean,
you don't run a nonprofit.
Let's just say business, okay? So we can make a call. We can decide something. This is not that.
No.
You can't just make a decision at Tyson Foods, for example, or Walmart. I mean, there's a lot of different interest and a lot of people and a lot of things and a lot of people affected and you're talking about a massive political discussion here to just start cutting sports.
I want to go back to something you said
just
yesterday.
So you know.
Pardon me just for a minute, JR. It is amazing how many people did not understand prior to this week that football and men's basketball have been paying for everything forever. Or as long as the other things needed to be paid for, football and men's basketball has been paying for it. This is nothing new. This has been going on as long as I can remember, and I'm getting old.
My whole point is this right here. Companies restructure all the time. Multi-billion-dollar companies restructure all the time. I mean, we hear about it on the news all the time. I don't understand why that's such a hard thing to do. Once you restructure and then you start winning because the money's there, then you can start adding back what you want to.
I hear what you're saying, JR, but if you start cutting sports, they'll never come back. We know that. I mean, if you were to cut a couple of programs tomorrow, they'd never be back.
We had the Pony Express at one time. Guess what? Technology came along, and we don't have it no more. I mean, it's just the face of athletics right now. So anyway, y'all have a good day.
I mean, your logic is sound.
Well, no, I'm not disagreeing with the logic.
There's there's not a logic being applied to college athletics.
Well, here's the thing: out of one side of their mouths, they've said, "Well, we have to run this like a business." But then out of the other side of their mouth, but we're a nonprofit. I mean, it's
support all these things that are making money.
So, hey, it's and I feel JR's frustration, and this is why I say that whatever ultimately the solution is, and basically the way I read this resolution is, hey, you guys get it figured out because we got to have a report by March 1st, and we'll go from there. But your mandate is to get it figured out on paper how this is going to work, and we'll see what they come up with. But it's hey, you're talking about big dollars, and that's the understatement.
Oh, what's this? I was just looking at Facebook. Oh, isn't that interesting? You said you're getting old. I said you're getting older. It's Chuck's birthday. What?
You guys knew that.
What?
You guys knew.
What?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
This was Edward's idea.
Happy birthday to you.
Sorry, the audio quality wasn't a little bit better.
Well, you're assuming it's the first time I've heard that this morning.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Did she call you and say
No.
I should have pulled.
I knew you guys knew.
We didn't know.
Edward knew.
It's supposed to be in my calendar.
No, we really just figured it out.
And Bart, 2 segments ago, you left the room and he goes, "I think it's Chuck's birthday today. What should we do?"
It is. You're right. It is.
So we have ordered you a cake, and somebody's jumping out of it.
All right.
Which is why it's not here yet.
Sweet.
Because we've got to get the person to jump out.
Yeah, well, just a minor detail.
But happy birthday. You ready, guys?
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chuck. Happy birthday to
Thank
you.
Thank
Oprah's 72 today.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck's 81, and Chuck's 58.
That's true, yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Doing great, man. What do you want to do? What do you want to do today?
Take an afternoon nap. Turn the phone off, lock the door.
What do you want to do for the next couple of hours?
Just do the show. Maybe just do the show.
I'm going to Blakeman's later. What do you want?
I watch.
What do you want? There you go. Happy birthday, Chuck. You really make me want to call you a moron. I'm not going to do that, but I want to.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Looking for the perfect light beer to kick off the new year? Flight by Yingling raises the bar for light beers. With just 95 calories, you can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of a Yingling, but it's a light beer. Grab a Flight at your favorite store or ask your bartender and take your beer game to new heights. It's perfect for the holidays or watching a game. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag, still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea. And when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com.
Oaklawn is here for when you want the ultimate escape, all in one place. Check into the luxury hotel. Escape to Astral Spa, the only Forbes 4-star rated spa in Arkansas. Indulge at award-winning restaurants like the Bugler or the Oak Room and Bar, all before having the time of your life at the 24/7 smoke-free casino, where the energy goes all night. Here, excitement and luxury meet under one roof. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
This is not interesting. It's just interesting to us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listened, and perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well, in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeicherGriffin.com. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
When it comes to any kind of construction, you need to know and be able to depend on who you're dealing with. When it comes to your roof or a remodel, Teamwork Teamwork Roofing and Construction builds everything using only the best materials, including Malarkey shingles that perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Your roof is more than just shingles. It protects your home, your business, and everything inside, residential or commercial, simple or complex. Teamwork Roofing and Construction has the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget, treating every job like it's their own. They do what they say, show up when they say they will, and when the job's done, it's like they were never there, except for a brand new roof or a remodel. And they now do cabinetry. Get the customer care and reliability you can count on. Visit teamworkbuilt.com. That's teamworkbuilt.com. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
The Chuck and Bo Show on Demand is driven by the Fayetteville Auto Part, with full replays available on YouTube and Twitter, or catch up on all 3 hours with a podcast version on Spotify and Apple. Just search The Chuck and Bo Show.
Can I be honest?
Please do.
I mean, this is me being vulnerable and transparent, which I know you love and are very comfortable with.
I know what's coming.
The Chuck and Bo
Oh,
Show.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
It's
there
Chuck's
really
birthday. It's going to be his birthday all day today. Follow him on Facebook. Send Facebook request if you can't follow him now. Send happy birthday.
He almost choked on his coffee.
Follow him on Facebook. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that about me before. That is a first.
Post happy birthday on the board. You know how it works. Come on, kids.
Oh, that is funny.
Everybody knows how to do it.
That almost
If
came
you're
out of
not
my
wishing
nose.
Chuck a happy birthday, come on. It's such an easy thing.
It's so funny.
It's as effortless as it is meaningful.
Follow me on Facebook
Yeah.
for more great content.
I think Chuck's last post was somewhere around his last birthday. But this could be a different year. Williams and Lafayette. William, you are on the birthday Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning and happy birthday, Chuck.
Well, thank you, William.
I'm celebrating with a little Quaker Oats. I had to go check on my pipeline, so I've been up a little bit
All
early.
right.
But happy
How about
birthday! And if I would have known, I'd have put a candle and blew it up.
Well, thank you. It's the thought that counts.
All right, so a couple things, if you don't mind, I'd like to visit with y'all about. First off, we have Kentucky in the house Saturday, and Bo, I would really like it if you would consider bringing out paper Bart, cardboard Bart back to the game.
Wow,
in the
That's
stands.
a good idea.
Wow, that
What
is
a
a great.
request.
I mean, it's a big game.
Yes. Let's do that.
If we can
I'll allow
consider it, if not for Auburn later in the year. But
Consider
I
it
would love
considered.
to. Yeah.
We need to do that. Thanks for bringing that up.
And Bart, we love you. Bart, you are the man out there, okay? So
Thank you.
The
second
people's
thing
champion.
Second thing in regard to the topic that's being discussed this morning, I appreciate y'all giving a platform to discuss it. But the game's changed, right? And whatever we have to do to figure out a way to be able to compete in the new game, we're going to have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And if those guys sit back and look at it and assess it, and there is a student fee that's applied, whatever that is there going to be a return on that? You know, if a student has to pay $200 a year, $200 a semester, and they sit back and look at their college experience and say, that was worth it, right? I had those moments, I had those memories before I went out and got into the workforce, and I got to get up at 2:45 and go check on my pipeline to make sure my feedstock's coming in. You can think back and be like, dang, I had a great time at that game. And it was worth it.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
It was worth that $200.
That's good.
Yeah. But
The ROI
what's
in
it
sports.
What ROI, exactly, Bo. So what's that going to mean if we invest in our athletic programs? And I don't know what the enrollment is at the UA today, but let's say that grows, right? Then that student fee will go down, right? I guess it's a ratio proportionate to what the enrollment is. I mean, there's going to be some analytics applied to it. We just need to all calm down and kind of look at it and see what our strategy is on how we're going to attack this, because I applaud them for recognizing the need, thinking outside of the box, and trying to be a player now. You can't think outside of the box until you think inside of the box, right? And thinking inside of the box is recognizing we got a problem. So I appreciate the discussion. I think that's a good step, too. You guys have a good day. And Chuck, again, happy birthday. And I look for Bart in the stands, cardboard cutout. Y'all have a
All
good
right,
day.
thank you.
Yeah.
That is a good idea on the card. I've had people ask me about it.
It's a good point about the acknowledgement of the problem. I think Hunter's been acknowledging it publicly. It hasn't gone very well in doing so. But now it's gotten to the board. There's been progress made to fix the problem. Are people going to like the fix? We haven't liked the fix where everything depended on the fans. Now we don't like the fix if it involves the students.
There's no free lunch. I mean, there is no free lunch here.
Not unless somebody gets beat up in the back alley and you run off with it. Almost 7 o'clock.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like walk-ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites, like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
This fall, don't just pay for a heating tune-up. Make it part of a Pascal membership and get year-round benefits for your home. For as low as $8.99 a month, your annual tune-up is included. Plus, members get exclusive discounts on air, plumbing, and electric services. Don't wait until there's a problem. Protect your home, budget, and peace of mind with Pascal. Visit gopascal.com to learn more and join today. And Razorback fans, we've got exciting news. Pascal is now proud to be the official air, plumbing, and electric provider of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Hey, it's Bo, and I want to share something that's completely enhanced my day-to-day life. About a year ago, I started telling you about the Sweatnum Edge. Well, over the last several months, here's what's happened for me. My energy level is completely different. My exercise gains have seen a big jump. My mind is clearer, and frankly, life is just more enjoyable. Now, that's my story. What about you? Search the Sweatnum Edge online and get a free evaluation today. It's made a big difference for me, and I know it can for you too. The Sweatnum Edge.
Hey folks, Chuck Barrett here, the voice of the Razorbacks. And if you're ready for freedom from glasses or contacts, there's only one name you need to know: McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's LASIK, clear lens exchange, or advanced cataract surgery, they've got the solution to help you see your best, no matter your age. Doctors Betts and Mengarelli are the real deal, two of the most experienced surgeons anywhere. They've even taken care of my eyes, and now I'm seeing the basketball court crystal clear. I'm so glad I chose McDonald Eye, and you will be too.
Yeah, see, this is what the Chuck and Bo show is. You just show up and have
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like walk-ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites, like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag, still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
When you're looking for tough, reliable equipment for people you trust, WT Equipment delivers. WT Equipment is a local, family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas, and they've built their reputation by carrying the brands you know and depend on. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, and Steel, they have the equipment and implements to get the job done right. Whether you're tackling a big job or everyday work, WT Equipment offers a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance, including compact track loaders, skid steers, excavators, and more. Their lots are packed and ready to move with special deals you don't want to miss. Bobcat is the industry leader, tough, reliable, and built to handle any job you throw at it. Nobody does light construction or hay and forage better than WT Equipment, backed by trusted service and support long after the sale. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment location today or log on to WTEquip.com. Tools you trust and people you know.
Previous. Previously heard on the Chuck and Bo Show.
John, what do you think the ceiling for Arkansas is this year?
In the landscape of college basketball, I think they're on the tier right below the Arizona, Michigan, a couple of those teams. But I think there's only a couple of those teams up top. So that means you're right there. I always say it every year when I watch Arkansas. My favorite kid from Missouri, Trevin Brazil, he's always a factor. Every time I do a game, I think he's a huge factor. And you guys have seen it. We've all seen it. When Trevin does what he can do, he doesn't have to do more. But when he does what he can do, makes threes, rebounds, block shots, stay out of foul trouble, make the right play at the right time, then Arkansas is different. They're different. You guys saw that at Texas Tech. Like, he's a difference maker. So you mix in the young talent, the NBA young talent, and a kid like Brazil, and there's no reason why they can't be at the end of the year, one of the favorites when you get in the tournament, depending on what the brackets are, depending how it lines up. Because when the ball is in a guy's hands that's going to be one of the top picks for the draft, and then you surround him with enough ability, great ability, unlimited, right? Can they rebound with some of these crazy physical teams? You've already played Houston. So there's nobody now because of Cal the way he's scheduled. When you play.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
You look great.
Yeah, really?
Well, I mean, you've been to Miami for a few days.
Jeez.
I mean, if you don't look good after a couple of days in Miami, it's not going to happen.
I aged 5 years, and I didn't.
That's where you find your youth at a place like that.
You know where I ate in Miami?
It's generally down a dark street late at night. That's where you'll find it.
I've had those trips too.
Yeah.
This was not one of those
trips. I found my youth down that long street one night, right there at the end. There it was.
Lucky to be alive.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I guess it's just a sign of the times that every time we discuss college football, we seem to come back around to money. And I mean lots of it. Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
All the money.
All the money. And here we are, 48 hours away from Arkansas and Kentucky. We've got a big basketball game coming up on Saturday night. Cats, Cal, whole deal. And still trying to figure out a way to get good at football. I mean, it's kind of where we are.
That's
that's just sort of where it is as we begin the 7 o'clock hour. Glad you're here. If you're just hopping on, the U of A Board of Trustees had a meeting yesterday, and during the course of this meeting, they began to discuss how they would better fund the Razorback athletics department, i.e. football. In other words, it's time to get good at football. It's time to make a financial commitment to football that gives the Razorbacks a chance, a real chance, to compete at the SEC level. I don't know about the championship level. I have no idea. But compete week in and week out in the SEC. Now, toward that end, the resolution that passed yesterday by the board will add approximately $15 million in annual funds to the Razorback Athletics Department. Now, the rub, as always, is where's the money coming from? Within this resolution, the university must find a way to add $6 million to its budget. This is the university must find a way to add $6 million to its budget to move to athletics, while also foregoing an annual transfer from athletics to the university for $4.4 million. You remember yesterday when Bo was talking about, and we were discussing the article in the paper about, the profit of the athletic department. One of the things that was included in what we discussed yesterday was the $4.4 million that the university transfers, or that the athletic department transfers to the university. This has already been put on hold for a couple of years. And according to this resolution that passed yesterday, they would forego this moving forward. Now, the resolution also mandates that Hunter Yurachek find $5 million in funds to add specifically to football on a yearly basis. Now, again, where's the money going to come from? Chancellor Charles Robinson suggested that the $6 million the university's got to fork over might have to come from students in the form of student athletics fees that both, just for the record, the chancellor and the AD have spoken out against. This is one thing that if it happens, you can bet nobody wants to be the one that gets blamed for it. They want it to be somebody else's idea. Some quotes from some board members. Ted Dickey: "We have to decide whether we're going to adjust to what's going on around us or sit still." Ed Fryer said during the search that resulted in Ryan Silverfield being hired, prospective candidates told the search committee that it would take $25 million each year to pay for a competitive football roster. Now, the revenue share for the entire athletic department's a little bit over $20 million. $25 million, based on, the word on the street, is what it's going to take if you're going to have a plan to be good in football. The resolution passed 7-3. Kevin Crass voted against it. Steve Cox voted against it. Judd Deere voted against it. All of them said they wanted more information on this. It seems to me as though the mandate, when you get right down to it, is for the chancellor and the athletic director to work this out and come up with I guess what I would call a more permanent solution, present it to the board, and then they'll offer their thoughts and what may be another vote. I don't know. They met yesterday afternoon. Story came out last night. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of reaction as it percolates, as people try to figure out what it all means. Matt Jones wrote a great article in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette about this. And, in fact, I just quoted from it. And he's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. And we're going to discuss this a little bit more and try to figure out exactly what's going on. In about an hour, we're going to talk to Dane Bradshaw of the SEC Network. He was on the call Tuesday night when Arkansas beat Oklahoma. And I know he's got thoughts on this ballgame Saturday between the Razorbacks and Kentucky. Bart.
Yes, sir.
This is let's focus on the student fees part. Let's focus on the students for a minute. I'm of the opinion that fans have been tapped out, that I just don't know how much more you can ask of them. And by fan, I mean, average fans out there trying to figure out a way to pay for season tickets, get parking, whole deal. I don't like the idea of a student fee either. But I have to agree with, at least in spirit, with what Ted Dickey said when he said we've either got to get moving or we're just going to, basically stay where we are. I also understand the desire of those who voted against it to have more information. So I'm not sure at this point what it all means.
Yeah,
I want you to clarify it for me,
or try to at least,
or at least muddy the waters.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so like, when we started the show today, I said I had 2 questions about this. I now have 3 questions about it. I've added a question that I feel like needs to be answered in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, well,
as we continue to work towards a solution, I have a third question.
Yeah, well, and that question is what happens when this number keeps going up? Right? What happens when the amount of money needed keeps rising, as you would anticipate that it does year after year after year after year?
It's doubled over the last 2 or 3 years.
Because there's no control. Nobody's in control. So where does that money come from then, right? Again, my first question that I had was, how does this $15 million actually help NIL and help put a better football team on the field? Because it can't go directly to NIL. It doesn't work that way.
Well, according to the laughable rules, it can't.
They would have to do some. You'd have to do a little finagling with numbers. But that's been done before.
It is a good point, but I'm going to just go with this. They'll figure it out.
Okay, that's fine.
But keep going.
That's fine.
I understand the question. It's a good one.
And to what Chuck was talking about, the idea of a student fee. Yes, it's true. A lot of programs have some sort of student athletics fee. Mostly in the smaller conferences. Those are the leagues where everybody has student fees. And by smaller conferences, I'm talking about the Sun Belt, the MAC, the American, the Mountain West. The Big 12 does, the ACC does. But then you get to the Big 10 and the SEC, and only about half the programs in those leagues do have a student athletics fee. I am of the opinion, and it is strictly my opinion, that students should not be charged for athletics as they try to get an education, right? Tuition at universities is already high enough. It's already higher than pretty much anybody can afford, with or without scholarships. It's expensive to get a college education. And it's important to get a college education.
Is $200 a year per student though really going to turn everything upside down?
No, I don't think so, Chuck. But what I would say is this: no student should ever take on its university's athletics as part of college debt.
How about this?
No, it should not happen.
How about it only if you want to go to the games?
Well, don't you pay for something now? You can pay some kind of fee right now, and if there's tickets left over,
pass situation.
There's something they've got right now for $175. I think
elect to pay for. Elect being the key word,
and that puts you in line to buy tickets, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's make that $375.
That's just my opinion.
I know that. Hey, there are lots of people that agree with that. Lots of people agree with that.
Should take on debt that is any part due to college athletics.
You were much stronger in the first hour. That's what we were looking for here.
Okay.
We're looking for reprehensible. You had people on.
You had a guttural reaction. You had a guttural reaction in the first hour.
I had vision.
Well, I'm trying to be measured here, but
when you were talking in the first hour, I saw National Geographic go through my vision. It was there's a kid, starving, and we can't make this kid pay for the football program. That's what I heard the first hour.
They shouldn't have to.
Well, it's their choice where they go to school.
We all want to be good at football, but we want somebody else to pay for it. If we're just being real honest about it.
That's the truth.
The people that are for the student fee, the average Joe out there for the student fee, you know why he's for it? Because it's not coming from him.
That's right.
That's why he's for it.
That's right. It's coming from the students.
But
how does that make any damn sense?
But the students benefit from the big booster that gives money to help that team be as good as it is.
And it increases their experience in college, right? Enhances.
I mean, maybe. I had plenty good time in college and had to sit through Stan Heath basketball, man.
I had Chad Morris as my 4 years.
Come on, man.
So,
let's get real.
Edward.
Let's get serious.
These kids got Cal now.
Let's get serious, man. Stan Heath. I had to watch Arkansas play 47-45 basketball.
We're a two-back run-oriented play-action shot football team. It's going to take great pride in pushing the ball down the field.
Now tell me that's not worth $200
that was
a year.
sophomore and junior year
crap.
for me. Yeah.
Miss me with that crap.
All right, it's 7:14. I don't know if
I will say this. If they come to some sort of solution on who's going to pay what, the people that are paying it, they're going to hold their feet to the fire now. They're going to expect to be good. I don't know that that's a realistic expectation, because basically what we're talking about is just having enough to ante up, having enough to play a couple of hands. That's what we're talking about. And you're not guaranteed anything by this extra money, but you're guaranteed staying where you are without it.
All right, what do you think about where we are? Arkansas's Board of Trustees has met. They've decided we need a $15 million surplus for the athletic department. A lot of it's got to go to football. Dang it, we're not any good at football. We got to be better at football. We need a mandate to be better at football. We got to have money to be better at football. It's about football, and we got something we got to fix. Dang it. Now what?
It's all just so funny. It's all so funny.
Who's paying for it? Meanwhile, it's Chuck's birthday. We're about to eat cake.
Let's go.
Do you have more opinions today? Do you have more things that we haven't gotten to?
Hell yeah, brother.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag, still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
He's Chuck Barrett.
He's Bo Mattingly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show on Demand is proudly driven by the Fayetteville Auto Park. We've been talking about them for a number of years. The truth is, they've been Northwest Arkansas's premier vehicle dealership for really as long as I can remember. There are lots of reasons for that. Starts with great brands: Honda, Acura, Chevy, Toyota. And then they've got the largest pre-owned selection that you're going to find anywhere. Trusted names. And they're all right here at the Fayetteville Auto Park. But what really separates them is what happens after the sale. You want to know your vehicle can be serviced by people you trust, right where you bought it. And that's exactly what you get at Fayetteville Auto Park. An award-winning service department and an award-winning collision center, all under one roof. It really is your one-stop automobile headquarters. They've been in business for 25 years. That's a long time. Built on trust, relationships, top-tier service. That's how you stay around as long as they have. The Fayetteville Auto Park. Drive with confidence.
Looking for the perfect light beer to kick off the new year? Flight by Yingling raises the bar for light beers. With just 95 calories, you can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of a Yingling, but it's a light beer. Grab a Flight at your favorite store or ask your bartender and take your beer game to new heights. It's perfect for the holidays or watching a game. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in this morning. Hang out with Bo and me every weekday morning from 6 to 9 live on YouTube or Twitter, or catch up with the podcast version of the show available on Spotify and Apple.
Now,
tells
When Chuck and I started the show, he said we want to deal with smart people, smarter than us. It's going to take a while for them to show up because they've been dumbed down, but they'll show up.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Arkansas is trying to figure out how to get the job done. They are trying to figure it out. Are other schools, have we been reading anywhere about other Board of Trustees meetings that have been talked about, publicly disseminated, so that people can figure out how to win at football? I started today, like, first thought, hey, look at this. Because Hunter has had a broadly mandated charge of having a broadly successful athletic program. That's why the Learfield Cup means so much, but so little to fans. Because those sports that they're winning in aren't fan-driven sports. They're not revenue-driven sports. And so he's done what he was brought in to do. But football has not been at the level that anybody wants it to be.
I think the mandate's changed. Based on the way I read this, the mandate is it's time to be good at football.
That's right. So now there's a course correction, and starting with money. But is that the only thing? Like, we've heard from a lot of people in the last couple of days that didn't realize that only 2 sports at the University of Arkansas support themselves.
I am
or make
struck
money.
by people's surprise at that, because it's always been that way. This has always been the way it's operated. This is, this is absolutely nothing new.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 sports. 13 of them are being carried by 2.
Yeah.
13 business units are losing money. But that's the way college athletics is. That's true of every major athletic program. I mean, you're not producing revenue in other sports.
I was reading right here. This was from Christina Long's story. 4 public SEC schools charge student fees. Auburn, Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee. And South Carolina will start doing it next year. 8 SEC schools report direct institutional or state support for athletics, going beyond the self-supporting. Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Tennessee, and Alabama. A lot of those places we're chasing, in terms of football success.
So maybe this is the wrong way to view it, but I gave up on the education part of this a while back as it relates to sports. The term student athlete and all that. And I'm not saying that athletes that come here don't get educations and they don't do it on scholarship and all that's great. But man, we are mixing and matching stuff all over the place here that just they don't align. They don't align. Like Bart's complaint about a student having to pay to be good at sports. Well, the students want to be good at sports too. They want to go. Most of them, or a lot of them, they want to go to
the ones we see.
School that
the ones we see.
Well, I guess it's not. It's definitely not most of them. I mean, there's a whole bunch of students that aren't at games.
Right.
There's not 20,000 students at games.
No.
But this is the system. But we keep acting like this is a school and it's by the way, I mean, isn't just the university, the campus, isn't that big business? Isn't that big business too?
Then cut the cord.
What do you mean?
We tried that, and then we got all these apps, and we got to have subscriptions and everything.
I'm paying for Hulu twice. Have I not pointed that out?
We're still paying for cable.
All right, go ahead.
Stop the charade. This speaks to the bigger problem, the ongoing conversation about what's wrong in college athletics right now. Until there is some sort of system in place with rules and regulations and collective bargaining and salary caps and NIL being what NIL is supposed to be, which is, promotional endorsement deals, that sort of thing. That's what it was supposed to be. Until we get to that point, this is just going to keep happening.
We're never getting there.
I think we've got to move beyond the idea that things are going to be fair. And I think we've got to move beyond the idea that there are going to be things like collective bargaining and salary caps and accountability. I hate to say it, But I think we've got to prepare ourselves and operate within a system where things that we think should happen are never going to happen.
And that's fine. And it's fine to have that. Like,
I just do. That's just what I think.
Part of me thinks you're absolutely right, Chuck. And so in that case, then Arkansas needs to be prepared. Razorback fans need to be prepared to not be very good at football until Jerry Jones sells the Dallas Cowboys and funnels a bunch of money to the University of Arkansas.
Somebody's got to come save us.
Jerry's not dumb enough to do that.
No, he ain't doing that.
His money is called an ROI. That's where his money's going.
He's making money. That's what they may not be any good, but he's making money.
Because Mark Cuban had to give a lot of money to the University of Indiana football program to get them to where they are.
He might put his last $800,000 in an oil well, but he ain't putting it in a sports team.
You go back to Wildcat.
I mean, yeah. I mean, unless.
I mean, I'm speaking tongue in cheek, but the point there is that unless something along those lines happens, unless there's some sort of Godfather amount of money that comes in to Razorback football, that comes into NIL for the University of Arkansas football program, then this is going to be what it is.
Well, hold on, but they're doing it. They're getting money now. They're getting money. They just met. They realized they need $25 million. The board, they said in the board meeting, they realized they need $25 million for their football roster. They realized that. That was a big aha for me. I was like, oh, they realize that? Okay. Now, will it be $35 million next year? I don't know.
Yeah,
but whatever. Okay. So let me pose a completely different question here. Now that they've figured it out, is Arkansas going to win at football? So we've got
nothing's
a lot of
guaranteed.
We got a lot of
there are no guarantees.
I mean, I'm just saying, do you feel better about Arkansas winning at football than when you went to bed last night? Let me just open it up, 877-377-6963. If you need a new roof, they can get that done. They got a plan for that. It's not as obscure as what we're talking about here. They're not having
it's not
board
a $5
meetings.
million roof.
They're not, but well, it could
I
be.
mean, could conceivably
but
be.
They're not figuring out what the best materials are. They know how to do the job. They know who's going to work on the project.
They don't need a resolution.
They know exactly what the quote looks like. And they don't need a board meeting for this. They've got it figured out, and they're going to help you out. They're going to show up on time, come in on budget, get the job done the way they said they would, and you're going to be left smiling with a roof that lasts. They've also got remodels going on, the great construction work, and now cabinetry. Teamwork Roofing and Construction in Cabinetry, built on quality, powered by teamwork, teamworkbuilt.com.
There we go. Here we go. Let's take some personal shots. You want to? I mean, come on. Let's take some personal shots, Adam.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville, inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly, and Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Ryan Silverfield has my attention.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Has my attention.
Okay.
Is this like the seal of approval?
Look at that.
Well,
Are we moving closer to the Bart seal of approval?
The man hasn't coached a game yet here.
Yeah.
But he has your attention.
He has my attention for what he's doing in the transfer portal. You know, when
y'all better put him in the Heisman.
Sure.
Pay attention.
Look, when you see these initial transfer portal rankings, you expect them to change pretty rapidly over the course of the portal period as some of the big dogs in the sport get after it and start signing players and everything. But when you look at what Arkansas has done in the portal, they've been hanging around the top 10 this entire time in terms of portal class rankings. 10th right now in the country, according to 24/7 Sports. 11th via On3. They're doing a great job in the portal, but what, at least it appears that way, right? We have no idea how these guys are going to play at Arkansas, right? But it appears that things are going well. Here's what caught my attention yesterday. Maryland transfer corner Lakai Rowland signed with Arkansas. Starter at Maryland, had a good year as the starter at Maryland. They're, you could say their best player in the defensive backfield. That alone is, eye-grabbing, and a starter from a Power 4 conference school. He visited Ohio State, right? And Ohio State fans were really pissed off that they didn't get this guy. And that he came to Arkansas.
At First Security Bank, banking isn't one size fits all. It's personal because everyone's financial journey looks a little different. From managing day-to-day spending, to running a small business, to helping your kids learn more smart money habits, or taking that big step toward buying a home. At First Security, you get the services you expect, the technology you need, and the real support of local people who live here, know the community, and take the time to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Life moves fast, and having a bank that moves with you makes a difference. Whether you prefer stopping by a branch, banking on the app, or picking up the phone to talk with someone who actually knows your name, First Security is there. They offer smart tools like mobile banking, bill pay, and mobile check deposit, along with thoughtful solutions like flex banking for kids, checking built for small businesses, and local mortgage lenders who guide you through the home buying process. Choose the power of personal. Bank better at First Security. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Oaklawn in Hot Springs is where excitement, luxury, and nonstop action come together, all in one unforgettable destination. The Oaklawn Casino Resort features a 24/7 smoke-free casino with more than 1,500 slot machines, plus blackjack, craps, roulette, along with great dining, live entertainment, and energy that goes all night. When it comes time to relax, check into the luxury hotel, enjoy award-winning restaurants like the Bugler, and unwind at the Astral Spa, Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa. And it's the perfect escape with Hot Springs National Park and beautiful scenic lakes just minutes away. And for sports fans, Oaklawn Sportsbook keeps the action going year-round. Bet on football, basketball, baseball, golf, and more. Even international sports with easy deposits and withdrawals, all through America's best sports betting app. Oaklawn is your Hot Springs escape. Plan your visit today at Oaklawn.com. The Chuck and Bo Show on Demand is driven by the Fayetteville Auto Part, with full replays available on YouTube and Twitter, or catch up on all 3 hours with a podcast version on Spotify and Apple. Just search The Chuck and Bo Show. I will confess, I've reached the point in my life when my main goal every day is to get home. So once I'm there, it's going to take quite a bit to get me back out.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, my gosh.
I am like sugar buzzing over here right now. Yeah. I've enjoyed some of this cake during the break.
Chuck, one of my all-time go-tos, a cup of cake at Rick's Bakery.
That is
it's a delightful experience.
That is a life-changing experience.
And I'm mowing into some over my. I'm sweating from the sugar.
This is awesome.
It's happy birthday to Chuck. Matt Jones did a great job. A lot of quotes from Board of Trustee members.
Really did.
Christina Long did a great job, WholeHogSports.com. But Matt's joining us now to talk about this Board of Trustees meeting where there was a vote and the Board of Trustees debated and they passed a resolution that adds $15 million to the Razorbacks athletic program. Matt, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Happy birthday, Chuck.
Well, thank you, Matt.
How would you summarize? I know you did it in an article. Maybe we can do it in a minute here. Let's just start there. If you were talking to somebody today and they're like, hey, tell me about that, what's the summary?
Yeah, so it's a 3-pronged resolution, which the resolution is basically a director from the board that tells the campus and the athletics department to do this. And it is going to essentially add 15 or so million, maybe a little bit more than 15 million into the athletics department's annual budget. And for those, the buckets of money, number one is that since I think 2012 has been a transfer to campus, which is 3% of all of the Razorbacks' annual revenue that's not tied directly to contributions to the Razorback Foundation, gets transferred back to campus. So I think in the last year it was something like $4.7 million. It was a little bit higher last year because there was a $5.5 million kind of bonus distribution given from the SEC toward the end of the year. But typically over the last 3 years, I think it's averaged about $4.4 million. So that's the first prong. The second prong says that campus is going to be directed to give $6 million a year to the athletics department. So think about this. Instead of campus receiving $4.4 million from athletics, it's now going to forego that $4.4 million per year, which that could be a little bit more than $4.4 million. And then in addition to that, it's going to give $6 million back to campus. So in some ways, it's
back
actually
to
about
athletics. Yeah.
Back to athletics. That's right. So in some ways, it's about a $10.5 million hit to the campus versus what their budget has been over the last several years. And then the third prong to this is that athletics has been directed to basically find $5 million in new revenue that goes into something called the All-In Fund, which is a football-specific fund that I had not heard of until yesterday. So you add all that together, it's about $15.5 million on average that's going to go into athletics.
Right.
And I will also say in the resolution, it says that has to be adjusted for inflation in future years.
All right, and this is occurring annually, and they're going to come back on March 1st, but this is what they passed yesterday, and they basically sent Hunter Yurachek and Chancellor Robinson home and said, you guys figure this out. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and Charles Robinson, the chancellor, was he was pretty animated in the meeting, which I certainly understand it. One of the really interesting things here was that neither he nor Hunter Yurachek had seen the resolution that they were passing, and that was there was pretty lively debate during this meeting. Kevin Crass, who's a trustee from Little Rock, who's also on the athletics committee. I think he's on the War Memorial Stadium Commission. So he's got his hand in athletics. He was pretty outspoken that this. I think his words were, "This is not the way we should be doing business," which is to have people talking about a resolution who had never seen a resolution, and then the trustees. They typically will get these resolutions weeks in advance as part of their meeting agendas, and most of them only got to see it for the first time yesterday. And so it was quite the debate in that meeting. But as far as Robinson goes, he's got until March 1st to come up with a plan and how to implement this and report back to the board.
I need a little clarification on one thing. I heard both Hunter and the chancellor say that they had not seen the resolution. But I also read the quotes from Scott Ford saying, we've been talking about this for 5 months. Mm-hmm. And so I took that to mean that now they may not have seen this in resolution form, but everything that is in that resolution has been discussed for the last 5 months. Would that be right?
I think, I think it's certainly been discussed. And, in Christina's story, she had gotten a hold of some of the FOIA, or through FOIA had gotten a hold of some of the email communications between the chancellor and between the president of the university system. And, it's been discussed for several months. They keep saying 5 months. I think might have been 4 months. Okay. There was a board meeting, but there was a board meeting here in Fayetteville in September where basically the board said, we've got to get football right. And I think that there's been ongoing dialogue since that meeting.
I got one more question about we've discussed student fees a good bit this morning, and how campus, as you put it, is going to come up with that money. From the outside looking in, it would seem like that would be an inevitability now. It's just a question of, who's going to get blamed for it when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think the two buckets that you think automatically would cover this $6 million are either the student athletic fees, which Hunter Yurachek and Charles Robinson both are fundamentally opposed to.
Well, no one's going to be for that. No one's going to be for that,
at least publicly.
Or the other, the other pool here is you raise tuition and you take a cut of that tuition hike, and you put it toward that $6 million that's supposed to go back toward campus. I hope that people who are listening really understand what a fundamental shift this is. I mean, for years, whether it be Frank Broyles or Jeff Long or Hunter Yurachek or chancellors who sat in that office or people who have been involved with the university, they've taken great pride in saying that this is a self-sustaining athletics department. It's not anymore. They are now taking money from the university, and so this is a huge shift in how they do business there.
Matt Jones, WholeHogSports.com, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Let me ask you this question, and maybe you don't know the answer, but one of the things that Bart brought up, we've been discussing today, all right, well, you're capped, and Charles Robinson mentioned this yesterday, you're capped in the revenue that you can give athletes. So if you need a $25 million roster, you don't even have $25 million that you can give as a line item budget to your football team if you took all the money and gave it to them out of the rev share. So how does this money coming into the athletic department help football build a roster? Did we lose Matt? I don't think he can hear me.
I don't think he can hear you right now.
Let's call him back. It's the biggest question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Phone system needs some money.
Well, it does. We need to have a telethon for our telephone. That's what we need to
do. Oh, man. So that's the crux of the issue is it sounds like you get $15 million into your athletic department. Okay, we got that covered. We understand. But if you can't give it to the players because you've already got that $20.5 million, how do you get more players? And now I know there is a way for money to be given to the university, through NIL purposes that you then give to football players. But I don't know how money coming from campus does that.
I don't know either. I'm struck, and Matt said this a moment ago, and Kevin Krass said this during the board meeting yesterday. It represents a fundamental change in the way athletics operates.
I'm going to go back to one more thing, too, because I actually think it's a big deal. I know they've been talking. Scott Ford said they've been talking about it for months. But if you're in a meeting and you're voting on a resolution, the two guys that it affects the most haven't seen the resolution yet.
I hear you.
That is absurd.
I hear you.
That's absurd.
I hear you.
What are the details? What's actually in the resolution that we're talking about? I mean, that seems a little inept for the governing board of the university with so much under their control that you don't have. I think he's calling now.
Yeah.
That you don't have, you're not more prepared in a meeting. I mean, I'm not there. I don't know, but when you read that, you're like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I think Matt's back on. That's a good question.
So Matt, I don't know if you heard me, but how does this money coming from campus actually go to the roster? Because in that article, it talked about, they realize they need $25 billion for a football roster, but if they're already capped with the rev share, how does this money get to building the roster?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that. And, I think that was one of the things that Charles Robinson was so, animated about in his comments yesterday. Ed Fryer, who's a trustee from Rogers, and he's been very involved with athletics. He was the one, he was the trustee who went along with Hunter Yurachek during his search this year or this last year for the football coach. And there was this back and forth saying, are we there yet? And Ed Fryer said, I think we're already there. We've got to have this money for a roster. And Robinson, he kind of shot back and he said, you can't use this for NIL. Now, can you potentially take, money that you're saving elsewhere and somehow use that in business deals and package that together for NIL? I think that's certainly possible. but you cannot you cannot directly take this money that's coming from campus and pay it to players in the form of NIL.
And that's probably exactly right. I think the frustration for fans is that's yet another layer that they don't feel like there's transparency on. Like if we're not being given, and this is the frustration I hear from people. I don't have a stake in it, but I hear from people like, I still don't really understand it all. Is that fair? I mean,
yeah, I don't understand it all, guys. I mean, I cover this stuff on a daily basis, and I don't understand how all of this works. It's a really just strange process to me, how they have to come up with all this money to pay players. And honestly, I think if you even talk to people in the department, they might tell you, I don't understand how all this works, even though they're the ones that are trying to put this together on a day-to-day basis.
I was interested in the just kind of the human dynamic in the meeting yesterday. I mean, it was animated, as you say. I won't say there were crosswords exchanged. That would be an embellishment. But, I mean, there were people that were pretty serious about their opinions. And I just wonder, is this a personal deal? Do people have agendas? Or is this just the fact that it's Razorback football and it's the most important thing going right now?
It was a civil debate. And honestly, if you think back 11, 12 years ago, back to whenever they were discussing the bond issue to pay for the north end zone at the Razorback Stadium, David Pryor, the former senator, was very outspoken against that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think frustrated at that time that I can't remember exactly how he said it, but the spirit of it was, we've got to debate this more because we're the stewards of the university as the board of trustees. And, really you don't hear that a whole lot. And I'm not saying that the board doesn't do a good job, but what I'm saying is that you don't hear a lot of this debate. And I thought it was quite fascinating. This was probably 40 minutes of this yesterday. I told somebody, I said, you guys ought to, take that, package it together, throw in some commercials, and put that on television, because that'd be an hour of TV that I think people couldn't look away from.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think it's good. I think it's healthy. And I think the people who voted against this, it was Kevin Krass, Judd Deere, and Steve Cox, who is a former Razorback football player. They voted against it, and I think they all voted against it based on principle, based on the fact, and I can tell you for Steve Cox, almost verbatim from what he said, it was, I haven't seen the proposal, so I can't vote for it.
It's crazy.
He said, I'm not necessarily against it, but I'm not for it. And I think for Kevin Krass and for Judd Deere, there was some principle behind it. Basically, in their many comments, and Krass and Ted Dickey kind of led the discussion in this. It started as part of the athletics committee and then went to a full board vote. And, both Krass and Deere, they had comments that basically said the job of the board is to have a budget come from the athletics department and from the university and to approve that budget, not for us to put a mandate on the university and the athletics department for their budget. And so, basically their thoughts are this works in reverse of how board policy says things should go. And I think that's a big reason why they voted against this.
Interesting. All right. It did pass, though. Matt Jones, WholeHogSports.com. You can read his article there. Matt, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, Matt. Really good job on that.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate you. Great stuff. Back in a minute. Chuck and Bo. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea. And when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com.
Oaklawn is here for when you want the ultimate escape, all in one place. Check into the luxury hotel. Escape to Astral Spa, the only Forbes 4-star rated spa in Arkansas. Indulge at award-winning restaurants like the Bugler or the Oak Room and Bar, all before having the time of your life at the 24/7 smoke-free casino, where the energy goes all night. Here, excitement and luxury meet under one roof. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I want to see you and Bart in the old three-legged race.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Let me just...
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listened, and perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well, in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
When it comes to any kind of construction, you need to know and be able to depend on who you're dealing with. When it comes to your roof or a remodel, Teamwork Roofing and Construction builds everything using only the best materials, including Malarkey shingles that perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Your roof is more than just shingles. It protects your home, your business, and everything inside, residential or commercial, simple or complex. Teamwork Roofing and Construction has the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget, treating every job like it's their own. They do what they say, show up when they say they will, and when the job's done, it's like they were never there, except for a brand new roof or a remodel. And they now do cabinetry. Get the customer care and reliability you can count on. Visit teamworkbuilt.com. That's teamworkbuilt.com. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
The Chuck and Bo Show on Demand is driven by the Fayetteville Auto Part, with full replays available on YouTube and Twitter, or catch up on all 3 hours with a podcast version on Spotify and Apple. Just search The Chuck and Bo Show.
We've been thinking that you travel a lot, and we were wondering if it'd be okay if you just shared your location with us.
Probably not. But
just in case anything happens.
Yeah, I
just with the family here.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
would you mind sharing your location with us?
I would mind. Yes.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Let's see if Nelson's still with us. We got a short segment here, but we'll get it. Nelson, you there, buddy?
Good morning, guys.
Good
morning.
morning. What's happening?
Congratulations, Chuck, on another successful trip around the sun, my friend.
Thank you, Nelson. I appreciate that.
What a trip it was.
Well, guys, you know me. I don't understand how we got this way, but we're here. And let me ask you this: how come we're worried about all this money, and we've got these ticket sites out here with tickets? One ticket in Section 128 is two. If you want 2 tickets, one ticket in Section 128 in Budwalk Arena on Saturday is priced for $9,000.
Yeah.
On this website.
Really? Wow.
And then in 113, there's one priced for $3,000.
That's secondary market value, man.
But that's what I'm saying is why is it that we're having these prices out there? Why do we even have those tickets available for Kentucky or Texas or games where they would never be available?
Because somebody wants to make that money, Nelson.
Exactly. They're trying to pay for all of their sports fun all year on one ticket. And, guys, this is what I want to ask you. And this is in the numbers. Arkansas attendance is in the top 10 for sporting events. Arkansas viewing is in the top 10 for sporting events. But you know what? We get the same share of the money of all the other schools. And as I told you guys, with the lost change, thrown away change, but Chuck wasn't here. I'll let you guys have a little fun with him on that. There is so much money. It's where you put it. And I want to go back to something that Bart said right quick. Bart, we had 5 games, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas A&M, we were in those games, so talent isn't as much of a problem. And it wasn't with X's and O's that we got beat on. It was just a little bit of, ball security or luck. So, and I'm going to tell you this, guys. There's going to be 12 teams at the end of the year that are going to be happy with the results in football. There's going to be 8 teams in the end of the year that's going to be happy with the results in basketball. And I know there's over 100 schools that are like, oh, let's throw all the money in the world that we want, and they ain't going to sniff it. So money ain't the problem. It's getting the right coach, it's getting the right fit, and having a little luck.
Thanks, Nelson. The Chuck and Bo Show on demand, wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube, is driven by the Fayetteville Auto Park. More to come after 8.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Imagine every sip and bite feels like you're celebrating the finer things in life. Chef Shiloh and the bartenders at Tusker's Tavern in Fayetteville have just dropped new menu items celebrating a cocktail culture and culinary craftsmanship. Daily happy hour, 5 to 6:30. 20% off wine by the glass and $5 local draft beer. And for fun, they've created Unhappy Hour, Monday through Wednesday from 9 to 11 p.m. with the same specials. It's Tusker's Tavern at the corner of Mission and Crossover in Fayetteville.
I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Donuts, Red Bull, and lottery tickets. I mean, how could you want anything
Courtesy
more?
of the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like Walk-Ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites, like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag, still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
When you're looking for tough, reliable equipment for people you trust, WT Equipment delivers. WT Equipment is a local, family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas, and they've built their reputation by carrying the brands you know and depend on. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, and Steel, they have the equipment and implements to get the job done right. Whether you're tackling a big job or everyday work, WT Equipment offers a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance, including compact track loaders, skid steers, excavators, and more. Their lots are packed and ready to move with special deals you don't want to miss. Bobcat is the industry leader, tough, reliable, and built to handle any job you throw at it. Nobody does light construction or hay and forage better than WT Equipment. Backed by trusted service and support long after the sale. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment location today or log on to WTEquip.com. Tools you trust and people you know.
Previously heard on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I heard someone say the other day that, the model in professional sports is like basically for every dollar you bring in, when you break it all down, you get through all the expenses, every dollar you bring in, the players are going to get between 45 and 50% of that dollar, all right? In college, it's more like about 25 to 30%. The difference is the size of the staffs, and I'm not talking about the coaching staffs. I'm talking about go to a professional operation. I'm not talking about like the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking about your average professional sports operation. Front office wise, the people you don't see, it's pretty lean and mean. I mean, it really is. There are two people, there's one person doing two people's jobs in some of these organizations. Not all of them, but some of them. In college sports, just the people working in the building, the numbers just dwarf the people that work for professional sports organizations. And all those people have to be paid. And so there is much more of a financial burden on a college athletic department. But when you hear stories like that, like you were talking about, the average Arkansan will never set foot on a private plane. The average Arkansan, when they,
average American,
when they go to Smashburger, it's not $600 and it's not being DoorDash. I think sometimes people don't understand when they do these things how it plays. They don't understand how it looks. Maybe, life is, you don't think about that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But every time a story like that comes out, people do notice. I mean, they may not say anything, but they do notice.
It did remind me, the $600 DoorDash of Smashburger did remind me of several teenage girls in a Starbucks order. I mean,
it's just nuts.
I'm just telling you. Careful, dads.
Never miss a moment of the show thanks to the Chuck and Bo Show on Demand, driven by the Fayetteville Auto Park. Stream the podcast version of the show on Spotify or Apple. Just search for the Chuck and Bo Show.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I put the old Keurig on, hit 10 ounces strong because I gotta have the strong
That's
button.
true.
And because if you're drinking coffee, man, you need to
Go all the way.
coffee.
Go all the way.
Like, when you can see through the coffee, like if you were to put coffee in one of those glass
That's
mugs
just brown
and you
water.
could see through it, that's disgusting.
That's horrible.
I mean, if you could see through a clear coffee mug, through your coffee, you might be a bad person.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Well, Chuck, you make plans, and they're based on scheduled events, and then something that you weren't planning on happens. And we've had that take over the show today, rightfully so, and we're going to continue getting into, the money that's going to be coming to the athletic department, the sudden urgency for football to be good again as it relates to the board, the chancellor, the AD. We'll continue down that road. We also have a massive basketball game that's on the schedule.
I know. I can't
Saturday
wait.
at
I
Bud
can't
Walton
wait.
Arena.
All this other stuff, it's fun to talk about, but the game's the important thing to me.
And Arkansas, trying to be good at football, they're very good at basketball. How good? Dane Bradshaw is here. He called their game the other night on the SEC Network. Former Tennessee standout, now an SEC Network standout. Dane, great to have you on, my man. I hope you're well.
Hey, I'm doing great over here. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. What are your impressions of watching the Razorbacks so far this year? How good are they? And then I guess the question is, what can keep them from going where they want to go?
Yeah, I mean, they've been one of the more exciting teams to follow because of the guard play, the talent, the athleticism, the highlight plays, the clutch factor, and then, of course, just with Acuff being just so dynamic and his composure. And he makes the game just look so easy when it's not. And I've just been so impressed with that. I do think Arkansas is a little bit of a microcosm of the SEC, where I say, man, they've got a lot of upside, a lot of talent. Are they a Final Four contender or a favorite? probably I'm not ready to go there yet because they've got some weaknesses, just like the rest of the league does. But when you guys will hear it a bunch, and I know you've said it probably year in, year out. You get to March and you want to have good guard play. And I think they've got, even though they made a minor change to the starting lineup there with Wagner, that they have identities, they have roles established. They all seem to really be accepting of those roles. To me, the biggest thing to watch for Arkansas is can they get to above average defensively? That's been my concern on them, is because they're going to end up putting a lot of pressure on their offense, and the teams that tend to advance the most in March are those more top-tier defenses.
Dane, when you look at the SEC right now, there are 3 or 4 teams out there that seem as though they might be the ones to win this thing at the end. All of them seem to have that common denominator of, can they be good enough defensively down the stretch? It seems like when you look at Arkansas right now, and they're not the only ones, that offensively, when they get it clicking, they're as good as anybody out there.
They are, and I think, look, they're really good in transition when they get the game going up and down. That's one that look, if I'm going against Arkansas, it's try to take some time off the clock. I'm sure you guys have heard me say that on the broadcast. I thought Auburn probably did the best job of that, where they would get a defensive rebound, they'd push it up, and they didn't have anything. Stephen Pearl was just telling everybody, slow down, and they were just kind of intentionally running a little bit of clock, then going into a set play. Even if you didn't score late in the possession, just taking some of that tempo out of the game, I thought was really effective. But the key that I think where I'm impressed with Arkansas is that they're not just so reliant on fast break points. They're great in transition, but it's not like, hey, as long as you stop their transition and get back, you'll beat them. They got players that make plays in the half court, and I think the confidence factor. Malik Thomas, he's never seen a shot he doesn't like, but that's what makes him dangerous too. Is he misses a few in a row, and as an opponent, you're not sitting there saying, "Oh, you know what? He can be a little streaky after he misses the first few. You're good." No, you he's going to keep coming at you, and I think that's really important. And I thought having Carter Knox, Trevin Brazil, those guys contributing, making some plays, I thought was really key to take off some of that pressure from those 2 freshman guards.
What do you think about this matchup with Kentucky Saturday night at Bud Walton Arena, Dane?
Well, obviously there's plenty of storylines there, but look, I think if you're Arkansas, one, obviously you play really well at home. You got to continue to thrive off the home crowd. But you certainly can't look at that Kentucky score. I know Calipari will not allow them to, and the embarrassment they had at Vanderbilt, and think that that's the team you're going to get on Saturday. This Kentucky team, look, they're wounded, but they're still playing for something. They have an NCAA tournament resume, and they've shown that even when things get down, they tend to bounce back pretty well. And nobody's under a greater microscope and more scrutiny, as Calipari knows, up in Lexington, than the Kentucky Wildcats. So, and I think those big crowds like that, Otega Oweh and others, I believe they'll thrive off that type of atmosphere. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing is can Arkansas, if you throw that first punch early, then maybe you can get Kentucky into a downward spiral and have that Vanderbilt game bleed over into the second game. So I think those early starts, which has been a point of emphasis for Arkansas, will be a big factor. But look, Kentucky's not Kentucky to Kentucky standard. If you look at the pieces, they're also not, just pushovers either. I mean, they're guys matchup for matchup. When you go down the roster, that you sit there and say, all right, we might be a little bit better at multiple positions as for Arkansas, but it's not just this huge wide gap at every single position.
Dane, you've been around Cal, I guess, most of your basketball life. I mean, you played against him. You've watched him as an announcer. Second year at Arkansas, it seems to me like his feet are firmly underneath him right now, not just him but his staff. What's your take from afar as you look at Arkansas now as opposed to maybe where they were 12 months ago?
Boy, what a difference a year makes. Because I won't lie, I'm fine being on the record saying when he got the job at Arkansas, because we watched sort of the lull that happened at Kentucky, and you wondered, hey, has he modernized the offense enough? And when he came to Arkansas, I wondered, all right, will it be sort of the same concerns you had at Kentucky that you have at Arkansas? Because, look, he had same staff come to Arkansas with him, a lot of the same concepts. And the way they started SEC play last year, it made you wonder, golly, as much of as great as it is to have a Hall of Fame coach, is this thing going to be the beginning of the end? I think that was part of the narrative. And then, boy, did they turn it on. They caught momentum. And as his teams always do, I've been fooled year in, year out, it seems like. They get better as the season goes on. Because he's John Calipari, he gets more attention under a microscope. And when the teams aren't playing well, that it's exaggerated a little bit more than most programs. And it just seems like more times than not, his teams start playing their best ball as the year goes on with these freshmen. And so to see him capture that momentum last year and carry that over and come in with these talented freshmen, I think has shown that he certainly got whether you call it a swagger back or whatever, left or not. But I think he's sitting there telling everybody, I still got it for sure.
Dane, you kind of touched on this earlier, but let's just wrap it up with this. What's Arkansas got to do to have a legit shot to win this league and make a run in March? What has to improve with this team? What could hold them back?
I think transition defense is one where I've covered Arkansas enough to know that when I look at opposing coaches' game plans and scouting reports and shoot-arounds, that's a point of emphasis. And we say it on the broadcast. Hey, look, try to run with Arkansas off misses and see if because they tend to be much more eager to run on offense than on defense. And I think right now, if I'm in the rotation, even though we say, look, they got 8 starters, if I want more minutes for Arkansas right now, if I'm Malik Ewan or whoever it is, I got to be the most reliable defender, whether it's ball screen coverage, transition defense, switching, whatever it is, because that to me is the next step in being able to win this league. And I think particularly with the bigs, because to win this league, you got to beat teams like Florida. You got to beat teams like Tennessee, which I know you have, but some of those big physical teams. You guys have athletes, but I think Pringle and Ewan really got to impose their will at times against those bigger, tough matchups.
He's Dane Bradshaw. He called the win in Norman for Arkansas the other night. He'll be on the call for the Auburn-Tennessee game this weekend. Always great to catch up with you. Great work, man. Thanks for coming on with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Dane Bradshaw. It's 8:13 on the Chuck and Bo show here. And if you haven't heard, they have canceled this weekend, really postponed this weekend's races at Oaklawn.
They have.
And they're going to run it next weekend, February 5th through the 8th, preserving one of the most significant racing weekends of the season, the Southwest Stakes. Going to be contested on Friday, February 6th. We'll be doing the show there next Friday. We're going to be down there this weekend, but because of the inclement weather, really the temperatures and not wanting to have the jockeys.
It's going to get cold again this weekend.
They don't want to go when it's below freezing, and rightfully so. So they're pushing that off a week. Go to Oaklawn.com for all the details. Make your reservations at the resort. They still have a big weekend planned at Oaklawn this weekend. All the events that were going to happen besides the races are still on, including KC and the Sunshine Band Friday night. So at the Oaklawn Entertainment Center, Event Center, Oaklawn.com, get all the details there. Don't forget to download the Oaklawn Sports app, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Get $1,000 in bonus bets if you're a new customer. Good morning. Chuck's birthday. Don't forget to follow him on Facebook and wish him a happy birthday today. People, I don't know if anybody else is having fun, but this is a blast for me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Hey folks, Chuck Barrett here, the voice of the Razorbacks. And if you're ready for freedom from glasses or contacts, there's only one name you need to know: McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's LASIK, clear lens exchange, or advanced cataract surgery, they've got the solution to help you see your best, no matter your age. Doctors Betts and Mengarelli are the real deal, two of the most experienced surgeons anywhere. They've even taken care of my eyes. And now I'm seeing the basketball court crystal clear. I'm so glad I chose McDonald Eye, and you will be too.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea. And when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville, inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
Hey, I'm sorry if this makes too much sense. I am more than happy to hear where I'm off on this.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show on Demand is proudly driven by the Fayetteville Auto Park. We've been talking about them for a number of years. The truth is, they've been Northwest Arkansas's premier vehicle dealership for really as long as I can remember. There are lots of reasons for that. Starts with great brands: Honda, Acura, Chevy, Toyota. And then they've got the largest pre-owned selection that you're going to find anywhere. Trusted names. And they're all right here at the Fayetteville Auto Park. But what really separates them is what happens after the sale. You want to know your vehicle can be serviced by people you trust, right where you bought it. And that's exactly what you get at Fayetteville Auto Park. An award-winning service department and an award-winning collision center, all under one roof. It really is your one-stop automobile headquarters. They've been in business for 25 years. That's a long time. Built on trust, relationships, top-tier service. That's how you stay around as long as they have. The Fayetteville Auto Park. Drive with confidence.
Looking for the perfect light beer to kick off the new year? Flight by Yingling raises the bar for light beers. With just 95 calories, you can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of a Yingling, but it's a light beer. Grab a Flight at your favorite store or ask your bartender and take your beer game to new heights. It's perfect for the holidays or watching a game. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
School sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in this morning. Hang out with Bo and me every weekday morning from 6 to 9 live on YouTube or Twitter, or catch up with the podcast version of the show available on Spotify and Apple.
You're going to be there, right?
Maybe.
Well, I'm saving you a seat.
I'm giving it the big maybe.
The heart maybe.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Okay, so the news of the day, we've covered it throughout the day. We got on basketball there for a second because we got a big game. By the way, I don't know what Nelson and Harrison is talking about. I need Nelson to call back and tell me where he's seeing this $7,000, $8,000 ticket, because I just went on Vivid Seats, SeatGeek, and go wherever. And, I mean, you can get tickets to this game for as low as $118 and as expensive as about $400.
Really?
But they're not $7,000.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, I'm just telling you,
I'm not seeing a.
We'll have a special price for Kentucky fans. If Kentucky fans want to buy a ticket,
I mean,
a special Kentucky price.
There are a couple of like $1,000 tickets that people
are they
people
courtside?
No, they're not. In fact, some are in the 200 level
really?
of the arena.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That's just people fishing,
right? No, for sure. But I mean, you can get 100 level tickets for like 200 something bucks. Not for cheaper than that though.
Hey, you know what you got to watch out for now? Here's a PSA. So it used to be like it's really obvious if you're trying to buy tickets at the Amp for a concert. It used to be really obvious, like you're going on a different site, right? And I think they use Ticketmaster now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it'd be obvious if you're going on a different site, like SeatGeek or Vivid Seats. Well, now there's an offshoot that's like it looks like Ticketmaster, but it's like Tickets Now. So it's the first one that pops up in your Google search, and you accidentally get on Tickets Now, and you don't realize you're not on the official site, and you end up paying a fee that you didn't realize you were paying. Same thing happens with hotels. Like you search, a Hilton in Los Angeles, and the first three things that pop up are like Hilton, but then behind it'll be reservation desk. Well, that's actually a third party. And now you've spent like 5-10 minutes with your order until you get to the end. Right, I get it, but sometimes you're on your laptop.
No, I'm saying like as a PSA, just like use the official app.
But you really like they've gotten really good. These companies have gotten really good at looking just like the official site.
I know. I'm even more.
And even if you realize it at the end, you're like, I'm so far into the weeds here, I don't want to start this whole process all over again. So then maybe you just pay the fee. Speaking of the fee, Nelson and Harrison also mentioned, Chuck, something. Edward, I think we got a call. Chuck's feverishly
I was just
trying to get your attention.
I was trying to get his attention, that's all.
Edward's, he's figuring out what
buried in his phone
plans are for today. Yeah. Or how he's going to donate to the school.
Yeah. I wasn't on my phone.
Well, we don't know. You're behind. You're like Wilson from Home Improvement behind the fence there. We can't. we can't tell. But Nelson also,
is back on 4.
Okay, Nelson's back. He mentioned, Chuck, that he called in one day when you were out and said, there's plenty of money in the world. Americans, the U.S. loses $60 million a year in spare change.
Just loses it.
A lot of it
couches,
in landfills.
Car seats.
Yes, that is a reported stat. He is right about that.
I find that believable.
But, Nelson, I can't find this $7,000 ticket you're talking about to the Kentucky game anywhere.
Okay, it was on Vivid Seats, and I went back and looked since you said that. And now they got it. It said $9,700. Now it says $9,907. I mean, now it says $997.
Okay,
what section? So I took a zero out? Is that what you're saying?
What section?
It was 128.
All right, I'm there. 128. Bang. Two tickets, row 13, $333 each. Section 128, Kentucky Wildcats at Arkansas Razorbacks, Saturday, January 31st, 5:30.
Okay, Vivid Seats.
Vivid Seats.
I mean, okay.
Boy, they're getting a lot of airtime today.
I see one for $14,000.
I looked through the whole section.
What?
Because I usually
list for whatever
I look, but now go to 113 is where they had the $3,000 ticket.
Okay.
But I mean, honestly, guys, this is the thing about it is, there's money out there, and people. I mean, back whenever we were playing Auburn and Auburn was number 1. You go on those secondary sites, and they're selling these tickets for outrageous prices, $800, $900.
No.
And why are those? In the old days, you would have to go to Bud Walton and have 2 fingers up, 3 fingers up, 4 fingers up, however many you wanted, and you might not even get them. You might drive to Bud Walton for nothing. I mean, it's ridiculous the way this works nowadays.
Well, I hear you, but I'll guarantee you this, that it'll be 95% Razorback fans at the game. Now I see what you're talking about. and Edward's right. You can put it on there. So look at this, Chuck, okay? I don't know why we're into this, but we are. Section 113, Saturday's game. Okay, row 8, 2 tickets, $371 each. Right below that. Row 8, 1 to 2 tickets, $3,728. Somebody went on there. They're probably listening to the show. And they said, I'm going to see if I can sell this pair of tickets to the Kentucky game for $3,700.
That's funny.
They're not, I mean, just, the demand is not there. And part of it, I don't know if Kentucky's as excited about their basketball team.
I think they were excited until Vanderbilt beat them like a dog earlier this week.
They'll have great effort, but I don't know if the kids on the Kentucky roster care anything about Cal.
Oh, they're fans
wanting to be. That's right. It was a way different situation going into Rupp, I feel like.
You see, I felt like it was a lot different last year than this year, but I'm not a Kentucky fan. If I was a Kentucky fan and we ran Cal off, and then he comes back and turns his whole fortunes around by beating us, and now he's better than us, I'd be looking forward to this game.
Would you want to go to the game? Would you want to go to
not
Fayetteville?
For $3,000.
Well, I mean,
no.
just would you make it a point as a trip? Like a lot of Razorback fans last year,
I know they
wanted to go to and that's a hard. You can't get in there.
Yeah, that's a tough ticket for an opposing fan. That's a tough ticket.
But I don't know if Kentucky has that same desire.
I don't know. They used to bring a lot of people here when Cal was their coach. They'd have a lot of people here.
That might be even weirder. That Kentucky's in that building and Cal is coaching and Mark Pope is over there on the other sideline. I mean, that's just
it's going to be great.
It's going to be a little bit of a surreal moment.
It's going to be great theater. They were really playing it up on ESPN last night at halftime of those games. They had Cal on, and this is going to be great theater.
This Dane Bradshaw comment a moment ago just took me. We forget stuff, man. We move on. I do. We move on so fast. You forget stuff. You forget that when Cal was 1-5 or 1-6 in the league, people were questioning him across the country and in Arkansas. There were people on these shows that were all over him and lost his fastball, and we got suckered into taking him. And then he went to Lexington and won, and it hasn't been the same since.
I remember that day in Lexington. We were talking about this off the air yesterday. That was a 9 o'clock Eastern time tip. There were people, because I looked out my hotel window, there were Kentucky fans milling about outside Rupp Arena that morning, like 12 hours before tip-off. They were so certain that they were going to roast Cal. It was going to be the greatest night of their life. They were going to beat Arkansas by 30 points, and they were just going to yell Cal off the floor. They were going to run him out of Kentucky one last time.
We're there at 5 a.m.
Yes. And then at the end of the night, it was funny. Their fans gave him polite applause at the start of the ball game, and they were all cussing him, by the end of the night because they gave him polite applause because they thought they were about to beat him. They were thanking him for all his great work at Kentucky, and now we're going to remind you that we're Kentucky, and now you're not. And then he beat him. And the whole thing changed. And it hasn't changed back since. And a lot of those fans that were so certain they were going to beat Cal that night sure would like to have him back today.
Going to be a great atmosphere. It needs to be an awesome atmosphere. It needs to feel like Bud Walton Field.
You know what happened? Dan and Mount Ida, they put him in the coffin. But they forgot the name.
That's right. The whole team last year, they had him in the coffin.
That was so great.
I was just going to say, going back to
they're leaving.
They put us all in the coffin. They just didn't put the nails in.
They didn't put the nails in.
What?
Hold on.
I don't know.
Oh, keep going. Go ahead. Oh, it was just.
No, it's
yeah,
not.
okay, we'll do it. We got to get into football. There it is. We got to get into football. Next, we'll come back to that. We talked about it all morning. Is Arkansas going to be good at football now? They realize they
have a mandate to be good at football now.
That's a mandate, and there's money. They got to be good now. They have to be. Hey, if your parking lot driveway is still not good, you might need a Bobcat. WT Equipment has all the Bobcats you need. Light construction work, but at times like this, when you got to shovel stuff and you got to move snow and ice, I mean, nothing's better. Tight spaces, short timelines, whatever the obstacle, Bobcat is ready. They got trusted brands like New Holland, Hustler, and Steel, too. WT Equipment, family-owned, locally operated dealership, 8 locations across Arkansas, whether you're running a farm or managing a job site. They're going to help you get the job done. That's what they do. They get it done at WT Equipment. WTEquip.com. Are we a bunch of idiots or what?
Yes, we are. Yes. Yes, we are. Yes.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is here for when you want the ultimate escape, all in one place. Check into the luxury hotel. Escape to Astral Spa, the only Forbes 4-star rated spa in Arkansas. Indulge at award-winning restaurants like the Bugler or the Oak Room and Bar, all before having the time of your life at the 24/7 smoke-free casino, where the energy goes all night. Here, excitement and luxury meet under one roof. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Bo, and it seems like every day somebody else is asking me about the Sweating 'em Edge. It's real. It's a new me. It can be a new you. It's completely changed my energy level and my exercise gains. My mind's clearer. I sleep better. Life's just more enjoyable. If you get drained in the afternoon, or maybe you just can't shake that weight, do what I did. Take the Sweating 'em Edge. It's a free consultation. You get your results, and they'll give you a game plan. Just search the Sweating 'em Edge or log on to sweating'emcosmetic.com. Kids, there's never a good deal good enough with a bad person. Still a bad deal.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Every day I wake up despising Georgia basketball more and more.
That's a lot of despising, Brent, every day. Every day to despise something. That adds up.
I mean, Mike White's had more good jobs than the law should allow and had never won anything.
Well, he's winning right now.
Well, Bo, it's January, Bo.
I'm just.
What's he done?
Well, I mean, what did Mike White do to you? What's wrong with Mike White?
What did he do to me? His whole family's got a silver slipper on their foot. Brother, athletic director at Florida International.
Born on third base.
There we go. Hey, that guy was here. The one that's the FIU AD. He worked in our marketing department years ago.
He tried to sell advertising, and I don't know how good he was.
Brent's got a long memory. FIU, I think.
Well, no, it's
FAU. Brian White's the AD at FAU.
FAU. Okay,
Danny is the AD at Tennessee.
Okay.
Brett can tell you. He knows where all these guys are.
The brothers White.
What have they ever done?
Who?
And his dad was the AD at Duke. Danny White. I believe his name is. I don't know what his name is.
What are those Whites ever done?
Danny's his brother. He's the AD at Tennessee.
Oh, man. According to.
Oh, God. That just makes me ill. Mike White can't afford enough hair gel to get his hair standing up. He just put that little piece in the front.
I've never heard people get on Mike White before. He's a nice guy.
This is unbelievable. Like, where does this come from?
His teams don't win championships, so everyone likes him.
The whole family.
He's a polite guy, and you're just trashing him.
He's the whole family. It's the whole family, Chuck. Not just Mike White. He didn't like the
Silver
Whites.
Spooners.
Yeah.
They've never had to work for anything in their life in athletics.
At First Security Bank, banking isn't one size fits all. It's personal because everyone's financial journey looks a little different. From managing day-to-day spending to running a small business to helping your kids learn more smart money habits or taking that big step toward buying a home. At First Security, you get the services you expect, the technology you need, and the real support of local people who live here, know the community, and take the time to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Life moves fast, and having a bank that moves with you makes a difference. Whether you prefer stopping by a branch, banking on the app, or picking up the phone to talk with someone who actually knows your name, First Security is there. They offer smart tools like mobile banking, bill pay, and mobile check deposit, along with thoughtful solutions like flex banking for kids, checking built for small businesses, and local mortgage lenders who guide you through the home buying process. Choose the power of personal. Bank better at First Security. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Oaklawn in Hot Springs is where excitement, luxury, and nonstop action come together, all in one unforgettable destination. The Oaklawn Casino Resort features a 24/7 smoke-free casino with more than 1,500 slot machines, plus blackjack, craps, roulette, along with great dining, live entertainment, and energy that goes all night. When it comes time to relax, check into the luxury hotel, enjoy award-winning restaurants like the Bugler, and unwind at the Astral Spa, Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa. And it's the perfect escape with Hot Springs National Park and beautiful scenic lakes just minutes away. And for sports fans, Oaklawn Sportsbook keeps the action going year-round. Bet on football, basketball, baseball, golf, and more. Even international sports with easy deposits and withdrawals, all through America's best sports betting app. Oaklawn is your Hot Springs escape. Plan your visit today at Oaklawn.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show on demand is driven by the Fayetteville Auto Park. Catch up on all 3 hours with the podcast version on Spotify and Apple. Just search for The Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, I just want to say we need to appreciate Bart a little more because Bart know what the hell he's talking about. Boy, you bad, boy.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bart knows what he's talking
Gosh,
about.
dang, Bart. All right, we going to be good at football or what?
Is this going to work, Bart?
Silverfield staff, players, money, board of trustees.
Nothing has yet.
Student fees. What are your thoughts on student fees?
What do we need to do?
Get out of here.
What else can we do? What else can we do? They've heard the cries to be better at football. They've met. They've argued. They've resoluted. There is a mandate. Be better at football.
It does strike me as this is something, and listening to what Matt had to say and reading the story on Whole Hog Sports, it does feel like this was something that was forced through in a way, as opposed to something that was deliberated for an ample amount of time.
How else are you going to do it, though?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah, no.
How
no.
else are you going to do it? Sometimes you just got to jam.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's been deliberated for the year and a half we've been doing this particular
I'm
show.
talking about
been
the specific.
deliberated, but in a situation like this, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't know how else you do it.
Right. No, I understand that. I just think there's everybody wants to be better at football. Like, we all want the Razorbacks to be better at football. I know I do. I know everybody in this state does. And you're tired of watching your team just suck. I mean,
say it just
They
like
wound
that.
up dead.
I mean, like, really though, like you're just
no!
tired of it.
We suck again.
Every
And-
year, we
and I
almost always
get it.
almost win.
And the system is against you, right? The system is against fans. It's against. It is though.
always
Like
the man.
It is the man.
It's against fans.
No.
It's against schools that don't have some sort of super mega billionaire booster funneling money into their program. And so you got to try to figure out ways to cobble together as much money as you can. And I get that. But you've also got to think about how you're going to do it. Because based on what I've been reading and what we've heard today and everything, it's just like, here you go, come up with the money. Come up with the plan. You have to do this.
Well,
come up with the money.
But that's business, Bart.
I understand.
What I mean, I know you're just laying out all this, the pieces, but business is the University of Arkansas. Okay, so if you're the University of Arkansas and you've got to fund something, you either got to raise the money or you got to put it in one of your products so you can earn the money that way. And the product is tuition or student fees, or it's some other tax or whatever, right? I mean, this is
yeah, but you
this
see,
is your business. This is your business,
right? But and that I think this is the part that's frustrating for a lot of fans is that they see all these people making a bunch of money, and it's like, well, does so and so really need to be making all that money?
Well, hold on now. Hold on.
But
But that's when we start looking at people making more money than us. I really believe that you look at people and their value based on what the chart says across the board. I'm not saying that athletic directors should be making $2 million or $1.7 million or whatever, but that's what the market's paying. So unless Arkansas is paying something that nobody else is paying, that's the market. That's where we are. That's the market we're living in. And that's the cost of doing business today.
But I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for a fair accounting. And that's why I'm glad we had the article a couple of days ago about who's making what. I don't believe in abolishing programs because they're not turning a profit. I don't believe in that at all.
Did you go to the tennis doubleheader yesterday?
No, I did not go to the tennis doubleheader. They didn't make their $82 off me yesterday. I'll put it that way. I'm not being facetious there. I'm not knocking what they're doing. But when you're talking about, in the case of like student fees, for example, when you are talking about, as one of the board members said yesterday, and as Matt pointed out, fundamentally changing the relationship between the board, campus, and athletics, when you are fundamentally changing that, it is not unreasonable to ask for a proper accounting of where some of this money is going. Because what I hear from people is that it's almost like paying money to the federal government sometimes. You don't know where it's going. I mean, you just don't know exactly if it's making any difference or if you're just giving them money. And there are no guarantees in terms of winning in football. You can come up with every dime they're talking about, and you still may go 2-10. I don't think so, but you still may.
Just for a frame of reference here, Ward Manuel, the Michigan athletics director, who is running a shambolic program.
Whoa, that's a good word, Bart.
Shambolic.
I thought cobbled together was a good phrase a moment ago, just for the record. But say that again. Say that again.
He's running a shambolic program.
That's a great word.
Does that make your birthday?
It really does. Yeah. That's really all I wanted was to learn a new word today.
Shambolic?
A shambolic program. And
that's just downright shambolic.
He is making $2.3 million a year to run mass chaos.
Shambolic.
And Michigan also, by the way, does not charge a student fee for athletics.
Well, he's running a shambolic program. How could they justify
it? It's time for some righteous gemstones.
Here we go.
There will come a payday, hallelujah, what a payday.
What a day
there will come a payday someday.
$15 million yesterday. Yesterday was a payday.
Hallelujah, what
Guys,
a payday.
I don't know why everybody's so upset. We got a football team now. We got a program. You got the coach, you got the staff, you got the budget, you got more money. We're gonna have a roster. We're gonna pay them. We're gonna get it from other people besides the fans. I mean,
they're not asking me today.
Let's have a parade.
They're not asking
Let's
me
have
today.
a parade, man. Or not. I don't know. We can't figure out what's going to make us happy.
Being good at football, being Indiana.
I know. Honestly,
I want to be like Indiana.
Here's the truth. If they win at football, you don't even care about any of the stuff we're talking about now. You don't care where the money came from.
There's no doubt
you don't
about
care
that.
how much it costs students.
No doubt.
You don't care how much it cost billionaires. You don't even care. You kind of forgot about what you gave them, whatever that little bit was. You're just happy that you won in football, and that solves everything. It makes all this conversation so less meaningful and passionate as far as a debate goes, because you just want to win. And by the way, here's the argument I'll make for the university paying the athletic department to have a good football program. The university benefits greatly if they can have a great football program.
If they can, it does. You're right.
The thing is, everything is it's and buts right now.
Well, it is. And look, everybody's playing that game, and we are too. I will say this. I applaud the fact that we're talking about it, even if we're arguing about it, even if we're like saying you can't do this or you shouldn't do that. At least there's an acknowledgement that, you either get with the program or you get left behind. You may not like the program, and I get that. I don't particularly care for it either. But right now, I've not heard anybody that's got another plan. So, I'm just glad they're talking about it.
What are we going to entertain the people with here, Edward?
I've got a plan and a little lesson about the man.
You ready?
Yeah,
Really?
Go ahead.
What, you want me to teach you something? You want to learn something? All right, here's a useful lesson for you. Give up. Just quit. Because in this life, you can't win. Yeah, you can try, but in the end, you're just going to lose big time because the world is run by the man.
Who?
The man. Oh, you don't know the man? Oh, well, he's everywhere. In the White House, down the hall, Miss Mullins. She's the man. And the man ruined the ozone, and he's burning down the Amazon, and he kidnapped Shamu and put her in a chlorine tank, okay?
He's the man.
College football is run by the man.
Yeah.
So we should just give up.
I blame Tony Petiti.
We should just give up. Arkansas is never going to be good at football.
You don't think so?
No.
No,
I don't think so.
We're doomed?
I think
is that what you're saying?
I blame Ed O'Bannon. Everything was fine until Ed O'Bannon.
Where's Greg Sankey when you
What
need
are you
him?
talking about? It's not like we were killing it in football then.
Yeah, back before Ed O'Bannon.
We act like this. Here's what's funny. We act like this whole NIL era has destroyed us, and it should actually be a loophole into the game. But we're over here complaining about
I blame
where the
Judge
money
Claudia Wilkin.
I mean, I've never seen, honestly, if we just take a step back, I've never seen, honestly, more people talk about how we need more money and then be pissed off about how we're getting it. I mean, it's like, hey, we need more money. Well, let's do now. We're not doing that. Well, then you give it. No, I'm not giving it. All right, well, let's do that. We're not doing that. That's horrible. That's reprehensible. Well, what about, no, but we need some more money. Just give me some money.
Shambolic.
I don't care. Cheat, whatever. Steal it, but I ain't taking this.
Well, I've got a lot more rhythm than people realize.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Looking for the perfect light beer to kick off the new year? Flight by Yingling raises the bar for light beers. With just 95 calories, you can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of a Yingling, but it's a light beer. Grab a Flight at your favorite store or ask your bartender and take your beer game to new heights. It's perfect for the holidays or watching a game. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag is still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
If you're having issues with your gutters or drainage around the house, you need to call Hog Trough Gutters. They're locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drains. Plus, they're fully licensed and insured, and every job comes with a 20-year guarantee. Hog Trough Gutters services all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Log on to their website, hoggutters.com, to find out more. That's hog, GUTTERS.com. There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Alyssa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Hold on, guys. I'm on the Chuck and Bo Show. Hold on.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listened, and perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
When it comes to any kind of construction, you need to know and be able to depend on who you're dealing with. When it comes to your roof or a remodel, Teamwork Roofing and Construction builds everything using only the best materials, including Malarkey shingles that perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Your roof is more than just shingles. It protects your home, your business, and everything inside, residential or commercial, simple or complex. Teamwork Roofing and Construction has the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget, treating every job like it's their own. They do what they say, show up when they say they will, and when the job's done, it's like they were never there, except for a brand new roof or a remodel. And they now do cabinetry. Get the customer care and reliability you can count on. Visit teamworkbuilt.com. That's teamworkbuilt.com. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
The Chuck and Bo Show on Demand is driven by the Fayetteville Auto Park, with full replays available on YouTube and Twitter, or catch up on all 3 hours with a podcast version on Spotify and Apple. Just search The Chuck and Bo Show. The setup is really screwy right now. It is a cash grab, not just by the players, by the administrators, by everybody. Everybody. And if I was involved in it like that, I'd be grabbing now too.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck's birthday today. He hasn't asked for this, but just personally for me, if you don't mind giving Chuck a follow and a shout out on Facebook. Happy birthday, Chuck. Just get on that wall and just say happy birthday. You don't even have to type it out. They give you an option on there.
I'm going to be real honest.
I'm going to go do it now.
I don't know that.
Rolling.
I don't know that Chuck and I are Facebook friends.
Well, if you will friend request me, Bart, I will gladly accept.
That's when you know. That's when you know you have a real friendship.
Yeah. Well,
you don't need things like that. You don't think about things like that.
I don't.
Oh, well, to be fair, I'm not on Facebook very much.
It's beneath Bart. It really is.
No, we're just not old enough.
It's a spot for old people.
It has almost been 1 year since your last post on Facebook, and it was me.
Well, I am picking up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, it was me throwing throwing donut holes. And
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
Oh yeah,
January 24th.
More of that. We need more.
That's been over a year ago.
Yeah,
we need more walk and talks with Chuck after games.
Well, when we get to the tournament and win a big game.
Yeah.
I can't even post on your wall. You're like a public figure on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't let you post on there, happy birthday to Chuck?
No.
I think I may have blocked Edward. I don't recall exactly. Seemed like maybe I might have blocked you.
No,
I forget.
I just poked you.
Oh wow. Yeah. That changes everything.
That's the best I can do as a birthday poke.
Can you send a wave?
If you're listening, friend Chuck and poke him on Facebook.
No.
Did you get that notification?
I don't see the poke. No.
But does it?
No. Yes, I see it. I see it. I've been poked.
Do you feel anything in your phone? Does it vibrate or?
It does vibrate. Yeah. That's a heck of a poke.
1 to 5 strength.
Yeah.
On the poke.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Oh my God!
I don't know. I think I know less about Facebook.
What a strange feature.
Than I do about TikTok.
That's been a feature for
since the beginning,
the conception.
Yeah. Since the
What
very
is that?
beginning of Facebook.
Bart's got that one drop
that
where
mean
he talks
hi?
about all the lies and everything that's on Facebook. That is the truth.
Yeah.
Facebook is a
It's a bed of lies.
Bed of lies.
Book of faces.
Yeah.
It's a book of faces.
I mean, yeah. Well, anyhow, Chuck's wish him a happy birthday.
I would like to. I would like to point out that I did, Chuck, report the page.
Did you really?
That posted the story about your untimely demise.
And was there a response to your
No, it
complaint?
doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything.
Just think about just in the last few days, not even a week. It'll be a week tomorrow that you passed. And 6 days later, you celebrated a birthday.
I know, it's incredible.
I mean, what a week!
It really is.
Truly, what a time to be alive.
Well, and then we still got one more day tomorrow. I mean, who knows
Fake
what's going to
news
happen?
story that Chuck died. When you're having a flight by Yingling today, talk about this new $15 million surplus into the athletic department. $5 million has to go to the all-in fund. That's the football-only fund.
All in.
All in. So,
appropriately named.
This is unprecedented. They've never had campus give the athletic department money. Now it's been a resolution.
It's a resolution.
They've been resoluting to get this.
That's right.
And bang, here
They've
we
been
go.
issued a mandate. Figure
and
it
the
out.
money's not coming from a fan. So I expect everybody's been complaining about that to celebrate. And then argue with Bart on Twitter about it. Flight by Yingling, 95 calories, but it tastes like a Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. Have a great Thursday.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
Imagine every sip and bite feels like you're celebrating the finer things in life. Chef Shiloh and the bartenders at Tusker's Tavern in Fayetteville have just dropped new menu items celebrating a cocktail culture and culinary craftsmanship. Daily happy hour, 5 to 6:30, 20% off wine by the glass and $5 local draft beer. And for fun, they've created Unhappy Hour, Monday through Wednesday from 9 to 11 p.m. with the same specials. It's Tusker's Tavern at the corner of Mission and Crossover in Fayetteville.
The nation's best home court advantage lives inside Bud Walton Arena. The Razorbacks are back inside the basketball palace of Mid-America, and Coach Calipari and the Hogs need you there and need you loud all season long. A limited number of single-game